Welcome to ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. As we say hello and welcome to Atlanta, where the players play the 14th annual MEAC SWAC Challenge. The Eagles of North Carolina Central making their first appearance along with Prairie View A&M. The Panthers and Eagles meeting for the first time ever in this challenge here from Georgia State Stadium, as we say hello and welcome in with the former Howard University and NFL quarterback, Jay Walker. I'm Tiffany Green. Certainly glad to be up here with you this season. We call Atlanta the grand opening and grand closing for HBCU football. This is where it starts and ends.
More importantly, where it ends with the Celebration Bowl at the end of the year to crown an HBCU national champion. But in this MEAC SWAC contest, it's pretty much been one-dimensional. The MEAC has dominated their SWAC opponents with the SWAC only getting 3 victories in 14 years, but it's been a historic year for HBCU football, and it all starts right here in Atlanta today. And
certainly coaching changes have headlined the offseason. We've seen 10 first-year head coaches. 2 of them we'll get a glimpse at today. Eric Dooley, longtime veteran assistant, now running the show at Prairie View.
And in my opinion, this is the best offseason hire of any institution in HBCU football. Eric Dooley has put up points everywhere he's been. What's taken him so long to get the job, I don't know, but they do have high expectations, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. He's what you call an offensive guru. They want to know if he has enough what it takes to overcome that hurdle in the SWAC West, which is Grambling in Southern University.
His counterpart on the other side, the interim head coach for North Carolina Central and Granville Eastman. He's had a fascinating journey to get to this point. With more on that, we send it to the third member of our crew, Olivia Harlan.
Thanks, Tiffany. Yeah, Granville grew up in Canada, and his first love was fishing and skating. His dad saved up to buy all 3 boys some skates, and they'd go to a nearby pond until one day a bigger kid fell on the leg of his younger brother, Michael, and the leg broke, compound fracture. Due to surgery and some complications, Michael had to miss a lot of school. That was enough for Granville's dad to throw out all of the skates. Well, at the same time, Warren Moon was becoming pretty prominent in the CFL, and Granville became a fan. He said it broke down barriers of what he had associated with the sport. So as he got bigger into football, and flash forward to today, Granville does have that interim title, and he says he plans on running this program as if he is here to stay. He'll be a part of the national search at the end of the season.
All right, thanks so much, Olivia Decker. Meanwhile, Granville Eastman certainly likes the defensive side of the ball, and he's got a special player in Devontae Reynolds.
Devontae Reynolds can do everything on the football field. Great football player. Take a look at this open field tackle on Tariq Cohen in the open field. Then the ability to have the high football IQ to get involved in the passing game and not only recognize but disrupt it. And then every now and then when your defensive coordinator puts you in the right position, you have to make a play. And watch Devontae Reynolds single-handedly defend the option, take the ball out of midair, go the other way for a pick 6. Oh yes, that was a SportsCenter top 10 play. They're going to need to see some top 10 moments from him this season for the preseason MEAC Defensive Player of the Year.
Devontae Reynolds from nearby Tucker, Georgia, here in the metro Atlanta area. North Carolina Central won the toss. They deferred, so Prairie View A&M will be back to receive Xavier Johnson, the freshman out of Temple, Texas, back for the Panthers. And John Picaro with the kick, and we are underway. Johnson brings it out to just about the 10-yard line. He's hit hard, rather 15-yard line. And Darius Royster laying the wood so we get things started, and we'll get a chance to see this Prairie View A&M offense. And while we know Eric Dooley is a terrific offensive mind, Ted White will be calling the plays.
The offensive coordinator, Jalen Morton, kind of had his coming-out party last week versus Rice. He won the job during camp. They say he's a great leader, high student athlete with a 3.4 GPA, and he's a gym rat. 3 touchdowns a week ago. Impressive debut for the young quarterback.
He accounted for 77% of Prairie View's offense, and there a big hit after the catch. It was put on the deck. Brandon Bailey helped to pop that ball loose, and a big play for North Carolina Central. We'll see the call on the field. They may say he was down, so it stays with Prairie View A&M, but certainly lighten it up on the defensive end.
Yeah, fumble recovery by Prairie View A&M, but that's going to be the key to this game. How will Prairie View A&M stand up to the physical nature of MEAC play? You know, one of the things about it is You know, we say that the SWAC has a lot of flash and the MEAC has a lot of grunt in between the trenches. And you saw it earlier on that first play with a hard hit being put on the receiver by the North Carolina Central defender.
And quickly to start the game, our officiating crew is running over for a review. Eddie Kelly, the head referee here today.
And whether or not this is a catch, and I think it's a catch. He definitely made a football move. And then if it is a catch, the recovery, and that ball was still loose while they kept going. And look, it squirted all the way out of the pile, away from it. So Prairie View did recover. If it is considered a fumble, I think they can only look to see whether or not they're calling it a catch and where the ball should be placed.
Well, Dewanye Tucker had the ball popped loose. It looked like Zarian Holcomb, the junior, recovered it. And so they'll confer Eddie Kelly. And there are, of course, review officials and Anthony Johnson and Yvonne DeLewis. So, again, back to that question, you felt like he catch it. So did I. He made a football move right there.
Yeah, made the catch, had a football move, got rocked, and then the ball came loose. And then it's a matter of where do you spot it on the recovery. And I thought the officials did a pretty good job of spotting the football. It was a missed opportunity on a big hit from North Carolina Central, but Prairie View A&M should definitely keep the ball. It's a matter of where they get the ball.
Eagles linebacker Brandon Bailey causing the disruption. He had a great spring, coaches said, at 13 tackles a season ago. You saw him rock Tucker.
I mean, that's just football.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Second down.
So it'll be second down for Prairie View A&M. And they'll get the ball right there at the 25-yard line.
Impact hit. And right away you see North Carolina Central trying to establish the tone of physicality on the defensive side of the ball against this Prairie View speed-based offensive attack.
Now set to the left of him, Dewanye Tucker in the backfield. Morton back to pass, has time, finds his man, and that's Rector, Jeffrey Rector, the redshirt junior out of Houston, Texas, made his first career catch against Rice last week. We saw Devontae Reynolds in on the tackle for the 23-yard gain.
And right away we see Prairie View A&M trying to step on the gas pedal, get a little tempo in their offense. If they can protect Morton, they've got a chance. They can put up some points and hurt you. It's just a matter of will that offensive line be able to get the job done.
Morton going deep this time. He finds his man, Tristan Wallace.
That's a late hit. Good call.
And Wallace with the catch, and then the extracurricular afterward from Jaquel Taylor. And so you'll probably tack on a little bit more here. Well, they love this newbie in Tristan Wallace.
The distance to the goal, first down.
You talk about Tristan Wallace. I mean, he can do it. Last week he was running by the Rice defensive backs at will. They think he has an opportunity to be the best wide receiver in HBCU football.
You see him haul it in there, and you go back to last week, and Wallace accounted for either a touchdown or a first down every time he touched the ball. Play action. Morton decides to hold on to it himself. He gets into the end zone. They call it, yes, Prairie View A&M on the board first. A 13-yard scamper for Jalen Morton. They felt like this young man had a big-time arm, but this time he does it with his feet.
Yeah, and you see they caught Kawan Cox, a defensive end, left him unblocked, number 7. He's responsible for not allowing the quarterback to break contain. Good job by Morton, showing the athleticism and an impressive drive for Prairie View. They saw their playmakers make plays. Morton with good leadership. They got the ball to Tristan Wallace, and then they were able to capitalize it with a touchdown.
So Zach Elder, the SWAC freshman of the year from a season ago, tacks on the extra point. And the Panthers on the board first, so they strike first in this MEAC SWAC challenge from the ATL.
Garcia versus Porter, tonight at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on Showtime. The MEAC SWAC Challenge is presented by McDonald's new sweet and spicy honey barbecue glazed tenders. They are hand-tossed and glazed to order.
Fantastic programming throughout this Labor Day weekend. The kickoff reception last night. We saw our very own SportsCenter's Jay Harris, who has been a stalwart with this franchise since it started. Good times for Prairie View A&M. They strike first, and they're looking to, again, build off of some of the mistakes and miscues that they saw last week against Rice. Tristan Wallace was a big part of that play, with Jalen Morton capping it off with a 13-yard touchdown run. So Elder back to kick. Jamal Elliott back to receive along with Taekwon Watson. Up ahead to just about the 31-yard line. That's where the Eagles will trot onto the field and start their first offensive possession behind Chauncey Caldwell. Caldwell, who is a sophomore out of Durham, North Carolina, who kind of took over some of the starting role last year, had 8 starts a season ago, and he's a dual threat quarterback.
It exceeded expectations a season ago, was put in the game on the spot due to an injury to their starting quarterback, and the young freshman then from that local area there in Durham exceeded all expectations. He became an offensive weapon, can throw the ball with great arm talent, but feared as a runner, one of the best running quarterbacks you'll see.
You'll see a quick penalty flag on the play. There's Jamal Elliott with the carry. Elliott, a transfer in from Oregon.
Outside, 59 of the
defense.
defense.
It's offside.
That penalty decline.
On
First
Prairie
down.
View A&M, so tack 5 more on.
A little misdirection earlier, and we talked to the coaches. They have big plans for Jamal Curry Elliott, the Oregon transfer. They say he's got plenty of speed, and they used the word twice. They said very, very explosive. We got a glimpse of it on that previous play.
We feel like he's a big play waiting to happen. So first down, and here's the first chance to see Chauncey Caldwell on the carry. He's bottled up. Isaac Claiborne in on the tackle.
And right there is why they fear Chauncey Caldwell as a runner. They couldn't get him down to the ground. I mean, he's a big boy, 6'2", 230 pounds, and he runs like a running back. So most quarterbacks on a little zone read or read option, if it's not there, they'll slide, go to the ground. That's not in Chauncey Caldwell's DNA. He will finish the run like a running back to pick up extra yardage.
He racked up about 500 a season ago. Back to pass. Flanked out, finds Isaiah Totten. And Totten stiff arms a man as Jalen Harris goes down and transferred over from UTEP. But Isaiah Totten is one of those guys who has that home run ability, and we saw that a little bit last year.
They keep running backs at North Carolina Central. And last year, he was the newcomer on the block. They had 3 running backs. 2 of them had been previous all-MEAC performers. Isaiah Totten, as a freshman, took the starting role. That's how talented he is. Home run hitting ability. Fantastic playmaker. Does not have to leave the field.
Caldwell has time, finds a man across the middle of the field, and the ball is popped loose as Sherman McLeod couldn't hold on to it. Reggie Stubblefield in on the hit, and for more, I know it's pretty hot down there, that new field turf. Olivia, how's it feel?
Oh, Tiffany, yes, it is. It could reach 90 degrees before the end of the game. So, of course, you have to think about cramping and hydration. Well, NC Central has required all of their players to drink at least 24 to 30 ounces of Gatorade and water and other electrolytes. But last week, they had 3 practices held at noon. So they've been trying to get acclimated to this heat. And Prairie View A&M played at Rice last week. They're ready, and they rented these Power Breeze Cool Mist fans, which are key. And the other sideline does not have them. They also encourage pickle juice and bananas throughout the week. It's a week-long preparation to play in this heat.
You know, it's ironic. I've been doing this game for the past, 13, 14 years, and I always call it the cramp bowl. So everybody comes out fresh, but like Olivia's saying, fourth quarter, when you think you're fresh, your body's not used to it, you'll start seeing guys go down to the mat taking a rest. So let's hope they listen to what the coaches are trying to tell them and stay hydrated.
Well, when we were here for walkthroughs on yesterday, I mean, just the difference of temperature from the tunnel onto this field was drastic. Caleb Roach now in the backfield. Good look at the junior for the Panthers as a penalty flag is thrown on the field.
I'll start. Offense. Number 70.
So that'll back up
First down.
the Panthers a little bit closer to their own goal line. Well, Jalen Morton, who had a good week last week, see 1 for 1, picked up, of course, 22 rushing yards and that touchdown to get the Panthers on the board first. In his own end zone has plenty of time. And a little shake and bake, some move. And Jeffrey Rector, who we felt like we would see a lot of. You know, you hear about Tristan Wallace, and of course a guy we haven't seen yet in Marcus Hardy. But how about the 35-yard catch of Jeffrey Rector?
Yeah, because of the attention drawn to Tristan Wallace, the bottom of your screen, and you get one-on-one matchups. And if you're a secondary receiver, you can make some big plays with one-on-one coverage.
It was a design run. Didn't go very far.
I mean, it's unique how they hide Tristan Wallace, but they don't hide Tristan Wallace. If you see number 11, they have him flanked out so far wide down low on the 40-yard line where they're trying to generate that. So he's on the bottom of your screen on an island so he can take advantage of a one-on-one matchup. And they look to the sideline, see the safeties high, not in a position to cover, look for them to try and go weak side with this football down to Tristan Wallace's way.
4 receivers set now. Instead, the fake handoff, Jalen Morton up the middle. That's first down yardage and more. So everything going well thus far for Prairie View A&M. They're pretty much moving the ball at will.
Playing number count football because of the threat of the passing game, the 4 safeties high, they're not involved in the running game. So anytime they're going to see that look, they're going to continue to run the football and hope that their offensive line can get the job done.
Randy Anwanyu helps to stop Dewanye Tucker. He trots off onto the field. And what's North Carolina Central got to do to slow down this Panthers defense, Jay? Because really anything in their playbook, it's working for them mostly.
In obvious pass situations, you have to pressure the quarterback, force Morton to get off of his spot. And this is normally that time on the field where Devontae Reynolds makes a big play. I keep an eye on number 22 in Burgundy.
Morton going down the field has his man, Marcus Hardy. They feel like he can be a guy that makes a difference in that receiving core. They just overthrew his target.
And I'm going to tell you, one of the things I'm seeing right away is the team speed of Prairie View. Right now, I just clearly say they are faster than North Carolina Central. These wide receivers are flying by the Eagle defenders. That's a problem. If the offensive line protection can continue to hold up and block, the secondary for North Carolina Central could be in for a long day.
And quick timeout taken by the Eagles as 3rd and 7 coming up for Prairie View A&M. Well, again, we talked so much about Eric Dooley and, of course, his offensive prowess. He has put fear in the hearts of many opponents, but then, of course, you get a chance to talk about a guy like Ted White, who I think you're pretty familiar with. I'll go into that in just a little bit because I know you were itching to talk about your Howard alum. We'll have Sunday night kickoff matchup for you tonight on ABC. Number 8, Miami takes on 25th ranked LSU at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Our coverage kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's also streaming live on the ESPN app. And Sunday night kickoff is presented by NHTSA.
Big game for both schools there, Miami and LSU. I think they both have to have it. Definitely think probably Miami a little bit more if they want to continue to stay in that playoff conversation if they can make it. Can't start off the season with a loss.
So the Panthers moving into Eagles territory, continuing to gain yards off the legs of Jalen Morton beyond first down yardage.
And that's how you know, when you asked me earlier, what do you have to do? You have to give Jalen Morton off his spot, force him to leave the pocket, but you have to bring him down. Poor job by the linebackers at the second level of making the tackle after the defensive line got him off of the spot.
Tucker wrapped up in the backfield. Brandon Bailey in on the play. And we see some laundry on the field.
Person 5. Face mask. Defense, number 33. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
At the end of this run here, you'll see it obvious. Everybody in the stadium saw a dangerous tackle by Brandon Bailey. Personal foul, face mask. And will allow Prairie A&M to get even better field position as they move into the red zone.
Another opportunity for the Panthers. They scored on their first drive. And Morton now helping to move the sticks for the Panthers. Takes the snap handoff, rather fake. Yeah, he faked me out too right there to Marcus Hardy for the touchdown.
Did I mention on that drive that it's obvious that Prairie A&M is faster than North Carolina Central? Particularly in the secondary. These wide receivers can fly. Great play selection here. You see the play action to take the linebackers out the equation. Quick release. Touchdown to Marcus Hardy. And Prairie A&M trying to represent the SWAC in this MEAC SWAC challenge.
Well, given the fact that they have not had the best of luck being in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, you know, they've only won 3 games, as you mentioned. They are trying to represent here and doing so right now.
Give me the play fake. Give me a wide receiver that can fly. Throw it on the money. It's 14 donut Prairie View.
The all-new Acura RDX with ELS Studio 3D sound.
Prairie View A&M able to jump out on the board first, 14-0. And when we talked with Coach Eric Dooley, he said we needed a fast start. They've gotten one here this afternoon.
Start to have to have, and got off to a slow start versus Rice, and then they heated up. Now they're on fire. So it almost looks to me like you can tell one team has played a game this season, while North Carolina Central still trying to work out the kinks. They can't afford to fall too much further behind because this offense for Prairie View, that seems like it's not going to slow down.
Meanwhile, Jalen Morton is just on fire. 3 of 4 passing, 78 yards, and has accounted for both touchdowns. That one through the air. Zach Elder on the kickoff. And Tyquan Watson watches the touchback as it rolls into the end zone as we send it down to the field with our Olivia Decker.
Well, Tiffany, 3 players for NC Central played together at Hillside High School in Durham. That's less than 3 miles away from the NCCU campus. That's Deshaun Stevens, the wide receiver, the quarterback, Chauncey Caldwell, and running back Jamal Curry Elliott. They all took different routes, though, to get here. Chauncey started at quarterback as a true freshman last year, and Deshaun transferred from NC State, while running back Jamal Curry Elliott spent the spring with Oregon before transferring to NC Central. But this is the first game for these 3 back in the same colors. That's a cool story.
Absolutely, and you saw them repping the Bull City. That's the sign that they were throwing.
That's what it was?
That's
okay.
what it was, the Bull City.
Well, they better start using those horns right now because Prairie View A&M has got their number.
And swallowed up in the backfield is Isaiah Totten, Damon Jackson in on the stop.
And that's curious, going back to that story that Olivia's talking about. That shows you what a leader Chauncey Caldwell can be, because he came in as a freshman, had some success. Well, I'm sure that Jamal Elliott said way out there in Oregon, man, my boy's getting busy back in Durham at home. I'm watching him play on national TV. Maybe I can go become a part of that. And then same thing for Day Stevenson. He joined the party as well.
Caldwell being pressured flush out of the pocket, gets it away. Dangerous throw. He was looking for his homeboy, Deshaun Stevens. Deshaun. Don't you love the nicknames? What was your nickname? Oh, I think we already know it.
No, that was my nickname in college was Scott. My nickname was J Money.
Okay.
Call me Money.
Because you threw it right on the money, right?
Money.
Okay. That's the one time we'll give you some love right now, Jay.
What was yours?
Don't expect.
Tiffany?
Nah,
Not Tiffany, Tiffany.
Nah, just T Green. T Green. You roll with it because you're cool like that. Caldwell finds this man in the backfield in a short game back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and this offense right now has no rhythm to it. Even the timing on this screen was off. I mean, screens are all about time. You're supposed to hold it for a second, get rid of it. How many yellow jerseys recognize this is a screen? They fooled nobody, no place to go. And right now, seems like once again, North Carolina Central has not played a game this year. Prairie View has. And the Panthers just look that much more sharper than the Eagles.
And I think that was one of the things that, Granville Eastman told us earlier this week, that it was a concern. Obviously, you can practice and rehearse all you want, but until you get some live action, it's a lot different. Anthony Parker calls for the fair catch. And so when we come back, we'll see more of this high-octane Panthers offense. streamed live on the ESPN app from anywhere. At the end of the season, I want a game with the Goodyear blimp. I'm a little jelly of Marty and Ryan.
you would go up in the blimp.
Absolutely.
Have fun.
Oh, don't be afraid of heights now, Jay. As Jalen Morton and this Panthers offense gets things underway, and we see the catch brought in by Tristan Wallace. Wallace, who transferred to Prairie View A&M as he began his career at Oregon, but left after a sexual assault allegation. He was never charged, and now he finds an opportunity here with the Panthers. Once again, they find number 11 in that bright yellow. They target him once more. He's brought down by King Kiaku.
And Wallace is an interesting prospect. I mean, he's got the size, but he's got the football IQ. He was a high school quarterback in Texas, very successful, and has made the transition rather seamless over to the wide receiver position and becoming an impact player.
6'3" out of DeSoto, Texas, and the pressure being brought. The ball comes loose. And North Carolina Central creating some havoc on defense. The turnover, and they'll get the ball near midfield.
Yeah, they tried to go with the double move, stutter go, pump fake on the outside, but the offensive line could not protect enough. It was a great job by Darius Royster, number 43, getting to the quarterback, forcing the fumble. And now, we're starting to see some signs of life from this North Carolina Central team.
And their hallmark all throughout has been a traditionally very strong defense, especially up front. They graduated 3 of those 4 starters from a season ago. So when you look at, you're missing Jaquan Smith and Roderick Harris and Chris Burton. But here, making a big play was Royster.
Coming off that edge, and they've got speed on the edge. Quan Cox, Darius Royster, those are the guys that they think can disrupt the opposing passing game. And pretty sure they're going to take a look at that, because when I saw the replay, I wondered, was his arm going forward? Was it a pass?
So a quick look at it one more time. You see,
I think he's starting the motion. Empty hand coming forward.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think it's an empty hand coming forward. So it's actually going to let the play on the field stand. So North Carolina Central will have the football. They got to get something going, offensively. They've been in this game long enough, time for them to get it going, and I would think they're going to get the running backs involved into the game a little bit more. That's who they featured in camp. Let's see if they can get it going.
And Elliott with the carry, and he's stopped and brought down behind the line by Isaac Claiborne. He had a career-high 8 tackles last week against Rice, and he's a guy who's surprised coaches.
Yeah, and this is a fantastic job of setting the edge. He's been that senior surprise, that guy who his last season of college football, he's putting it all on the line, forced the running back to the inside, then make the open field tackle. Great job by Isaac Claiborne.
Thus far, the Panthers have slowed down the eye-catching speed as Caldwell overthrows his intended receiver, Deshaun Stevens, but we haven't seen an explosive play yet, even though it's still here in this first quarter from Jamal Elliott, nor have we seen much from Isaiah Totten.
Yeah, and that's they're trying to run the ball, but Prairie View's done a good job of stopping the run on 1st and 2nd down, and Chancey Caldwell just hasn't found his comfort level throwing the football. We want to see the evolution of him as a passer in his sophomore season. Thus far, it hasn't been there.
3rd and 11. This is an area where they excelled last year, and they're not going to get anywhere. 2nd straight 3 and out for the Eagles. You see some extracurricular and some good sportsmanship on the field right there.
And Prairie View A&M during the Willie Simmons era, they were great offensively. Defensively, they would struggle at times. Right now, this is probably the best I've seen this Prairie View A&M defense look in quite some time. They are really taking it to North Carolina Central.
and just able to get the punt off, and Parker calls for the fair catch. Well, you talk about Prairie View A&M, but looking at what Central was able to do a season ago, they were great on third downs, and so was Prairie View A&M as well in terms of conversions. They ended the season with a 3-game winning streak. Cadrell Hodge led the SWAC in touchdown receptions. They were 6-5, and yet another winning season within the SWAC. That's 10 out of the last 11 seasons, and a program that's really turned around.
They've invested in the program. They have one of the best facilities you're going to see in FCS football, and they lost to Coach Willie Simmons, who did his job. He did a great job there, right out down there in Texas. But I think the only thing that he has to go back and look at, if you look at the Willie Simmons era, will be he couldn't beat Grambling. And that was the key, and that's been the bully on the block for a while. Well, how do you try and beat Grambling? You go out and you hire a Grambling man. Eric Dooley, who had been the offensive coordinator. So they've got a recipe, and they clearly have their eyes targeted for trying to win that SWAC Western Division.
Also was a wide receiver under the legendary coach, Eddie Robinson, for the Tigers.
And I like this play selection. We know that the question mark for Prairie View is the offensive line. Well, you give the defense so much to think about. We've rarely seen Morton just drop back and pass. It's always been off of a play action, move in the pocket, giving the linebackers something to think about, then giving them the option to throw the football.
Turning ahead for yardage, first down and more, is Dewanye Tucker. Tucker brought down by Bailey. Bailey has been very active for that Eagles defense. And when you look at the stature of Dewanye Tucker, 5'6", 165 pounds, he gets the handoff once more, bounces to the outside. Look at the cutback, the speed. I mean, he's the heartbeat of this team.
And I like this run.
Yeah.
When you're a little guy, run like a little guy. Be a scat back. So that last draw play there, they had great defense on it, but a bunch of individual efforts and shakes by Dewanye Tucker, and he made at least 3 Eagle defenders miss in small spaces because he's a small guy.
Yeah. Also helped out by Tristan Wallace. Sealed a nice block on the outside. Once more, the Panthers continuing to move the ball, rolling out. And 12-11, you'll get a heavy dose of that today and all season long. Morton to Wallace once more.
That same move off of a fake run, design run to help the offensive line, which isn't that great, and allow Tristan Wallace to operate one-on-one on the outside. Nice play selection by Ted White, the offensive coordinator.
This time they swing it, and in the backfield, he's met very quickly, balked down by Jaquel Taylor. Taylor is no stranger to Atlanta and the fact that he was here for the 2016 Celebration Bowl when the Eagles made their appearance.
We talk about Tucker being a small back, but what happens when big guys get their hands on small guys? Hard tackles in the open field.
That was a loss of 7. Flank out to the left and just through the hands of Jose Medrano.
And I think in this little chess match, Granville Eastman's had enough of getting picked on here, so now he's bringing blitzes.
Yeah.
Consecutive blitzes midfield, trying to disrupt Jalen Morton, trying to force him to get rid of the football a little bit more. So it was 2nd and long, and they still brought pressure. I would not be surprised if they brought pressure again here on 3rd down.
8th play of the drive now for the Panthers.
Here comes the pressure. Didn't get to him.
Morton finds his time and just overthrows his intended receiver, Jeffrey Rector.
And that was very aggressive play calling by Granville Eastman because you can tell he's getting frustrated. That was 3rd and 15, 16 plus, and he still chose to bring the blitz. Realizing I'm not going to let this guy get crumpled in the pocket, maybe trying to fire up his defensive squad and see if they could create some havoc. Good job by Eastman, the head coach as well as the defensive coordinator for North Carolina Central.
Well, first opportunity we'll get to see the punter in this special teams unit for Prairie View A&M as they will elect to punt once they get back onto the field. Well, you can stream college football all season long on ESPN+. So start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. And this has got to be a win if you're Granville Eastman in this defense. Not only does he hold that interim tag, but he's also the defensive coordinator. He was that for 4 seasons under Jerry Mack before he departed for Rice. And so you've got to build off of that and turn that into some points for the Eagles.
And then for Central, the wheels fell off quickly. The 2 MEAC losses were by 7 points or less. That Hail Mary to Bethune-Cookman the week before going into the A&T game. Otherwise, they would have been playing for, it would have been a 5th consecutive Mid-East Athletic Conference championship.
Well, they won 3 straight outright or had a share of it. And this bounces near the 12-yard line, and that's where the Eagles offense will try to get things going. 34-yard punt for Darborn.
And then I think North Carolina Central, you have to give them some credit. When you have that type of success, as you mentioned, 3 consecutive titles in the conference play, when your head coach leaves, somebody is doing it right on the inside. So I think it was the right thing to promote Granville Eastman up to the head coach, keep the continuity going, and see if they can continue the winning ways.
Yeah, and both coaches who have gone on to different schools and both Jerry Mack and Willie Simmons have been very complimentary of their new head coaches in the sense of they feel like they're very disciplined guys who can help further the program and take it to that next level. For North Carolina Central, they've got that pedigree, but of course North Carolina A&T standing as the big dog in the MEAC, they are expected to win it again in the preseason. That's what they were, #1.
And right now offensively, T.C. Taylor, the offensive coordinator for North Carolina Central, I think you're trying to use Caldwell as a passer right now, but he's more of a runner and then a thrower second. I get him involved running the football so he can have an impact on this game, and just like that, you see him. They start calling some runs for him. Get him going a little bit. We saw the passing numbers, which weren't bad, but they weren't impressive. But when he brings that threat of running, it opens up the passing game.
Absolutely, and that's one area, though, they talked about wanting to develop with Caldwell, is trying to see him more as a runner, because you know that threat of him running the ball is already there. That's pretty much established. He can improvise and do things on his own, but can he be comfortable back there in the pocket? He's got time. Going up ahead, finds his man, and Deshaun Stevens was near to make the catch, but Reggie Stubblefield coming in on the pass breakup.
And that's when you have to know down and distance. You're taking the 20-yard shot down the field when you only need 5 yards for a first down. Find a check down, trying to thread this ball in a tight window. Great range by Reggie Stubblefield from Prairie View A&M, number 24, coming over and disrupting the pass.
Well, they like to call him the general back there in Reggie Stubblefield. So the Eagles have had 4 possessions now and 4 punts. As Parker just watches this one bounce inside the 40. Well, of course, Jay, everyone wanted to know what was happening around the world of HBCUs. We talked at the top of the show about, look, 10 new head coaches. How did some of them do? Well, didn't work out so well for Donald Hill Ellie at Arkansas Pine Bluff. They were upset by Morehouse. Then A&T and East Carolina got postponed, but they had that big win over Jacksonville State. You noticed that I left Howard
how are you going to not talk about the Howard?
For last, because I know you're going to want to talk on and on about the Bison, as DeWanye Tucker picking up big yardage across midfield and into Eagles territory. Look, they were right there with Ohio, and even though they lost that one, I mean, a great showing by Howard.
They put up 32 points, and Kalen Newton had one of the best days in the country for any quarterback.
Bottom line, kid is special. I mean, and every time he goes out into the field, and especially when it seems like he's playing FBS opponents, he is in beast mode. 532 total yards? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 439 throwing the ball as well, and had an effective day running it. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. What do you like to say, Howard? He's next.
Okay, well, he's trying to get to the ranks of his brother, just like Cam Newton, as Jeffrey Rector left all alone in the middle of the field. And once again, Panthers stomping into the Eagles' territory.
And right now, the second best quarterback in Howard history is doing a great job of play selection. Ted White is picking apart this North Carolina Central defense. I mean, you've got guys that are flashing wide open, and you can tell Jalen Morton is making things happen. When the pocket lets him down, then coached up properly, keeps his vision down the field, recognizes Rector open in the middle of the secondary for another big play. I'll tell you, this is a proud defense for North Carolina Central, but they've been pushed around, and it's just the first quarter. And already Prairie View A&M has established we can run by you, we can protect our quarterback, we can pick you apart. It's going to be a long day at the office for the Eagles.
One of their returning starters in that secondary, DeMario Evans, is being assisted to the sideline. You talk about the Panthers really, though, having their way on offense. 14 first downs for this Panthers unit. And Jalen Morton continuing to shine. Remember, he played some wide receiver last year, and then the handoff to Caleb Broach, and Broach finds the corner of the end zone and touchdown. A 15-yard touchdown run for the junior out of Rockwall, Texas.
Getting it done down in the trenches. Prairie View, look at this huge hole along the right side, and a good job of vision by Caleb Broach. Bounce to the outside and outruns Devontae Reynolds to the pylon. This is a dominating performance by Prairie View A&M early in this MEAC SWAC challenge.
And Jake, quite honestly, there were some questions about this offensive line. How were they going to hold? But Danny Garza and Jamal Fontenot did a great job on that right side to create the opportunity, as the extra point is no good by Zach Elder. And so we mentioned coming into the broadcast just about the MEAC dominating this MEAC SWAC challenge.
Can we put an asterisk by this?
Yeah,
Somebody
okay.
gave me an interesting fact. So the MEAC is 9-3.
Right.
The SWAC is 1-3. What's the common denominator in 3 SWAC victories?
Southern.
Nope. Yes, but yes and no. Yes and no. Eric Dooley.
So it's the Dooley effect.
The Dooley effect. So Dooley was the offensive coordinator at Southern when they won the first 2. Then when they were at Grambling, they would have it. But it's been Southern that's won it. But they feel like Dooley has never lost one of these MEAC SWAC challenges, and he's trying to keep that record going as an offensive coordinator. And it looks like it's off to a pretty good start.
He's got a championship pedigree for sure, part of 7 SWAC championships, either as a coach or player. So Tyquan Watson receives it. And up the right side, finds a little hole. He's across the 40-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. Zach Elder coming in on the tackle.
How's Prairie View been able to get it done today? Well, they start off by having Jalen Morton call his own number after opening up the passing game with Tristan Wallace. Morton's been a guy that's been on fire, showing you he can throw the football as well. Than the last one, demoralizing run by Caleb Broach as the offensive line able to get it done, and the Panthers are up 20-0 here in the first quarter.
We talked about opening up this offense for North Carolina Central as Chauncey Caldwell finds Sherman McLeod. So a nice gain there on first down as the first quarter comes to an end. Hot Atlanta has been hot. The Panthers sizzling up 20-0 after 1. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green back here with you from Georgia State Stadium for the 14th annual MEAC SWAC Challenge. A great game here from Atlanta, but North Carolina Central has got to get things going. What adjustments do you expect them to make here in this second quarter?
They got to get Chauncey Caldwell involved more running, doing what he likes to do. They're trying to make him a natural passer. It's not there right now. I think you get him involved in some run-pass options to try and become more of a force right now. He's been efficient throwing the football, but not a force. In this offense, I think they talk about all the running backs that they won. They've got great running backs from Totten to Elliott and those guys, but it all starts with Chauncey Caldwell. He established he was the weapon that they needed a season ago, and in his sophomore campaign, if he's not ready to be a pure drop-back passer, then don't force it on him. Allow him to continue to play football and win games.
3rd and 5. Decides to tuck it under, number 2 in maroon, and boy, he's popped.
And that's a hit, but that's Caldwell football. I mean, you see how tough he was to bring down, and I think that Prairie and them kind of knew he's not been a threat throwing the ball, so they're just keying in on the quarterback run, design, draw, and he's not going to go down without a fight, but gets his bell rocked pretty good there on that run.
Willie Miles laid a good looking on him. So another 3 and out for this Eagles offense.
And I got to say this, I mean, SWAC playing defense, that's like an oxymoron. I mean, that's a conference where they like to light up the scoreboard and everything. I'm sure there are a number of coaches that are watching this Prairie A&M team saying, wait a minute, they've got an offense and a defense? We may have to come up with some Power 5 rankings and see where I think how good they can be. Are they one of the top 5 teams in HBCU? We'll find out.
Well, thus far, you know, they're having a great showing. And then last weekend, you go against an FBS opponent in Rice. They were down 16-0, and then Jalen Morton helped to lead the charge. And the Panthers were able to score on 4 straight possessions, and they had an opportunity to win that ball game, gave it up on a last-second field goal to lose 31-28. But, I mean, Prairie View thus far looking good in this Dooley era.
Putting up 28 points versus an FBS opponent, that's making a statement, and it has not stopped. Look at this.
And Morton right up the middle. I mean, a huge hole. And the shoestring tackle by Devontae Reynolds, a 29-yard game. There is nothing that it seems like Jalen Morton can't do.
They are gashing this North Carolina Central defense.
One of the few mistakes we've seen or misses there from Jalen Morton.
Let's go back to that previous play with the long run, and you see there the inside linebacker tackles the running back, and it was a fake, and good job of having some ball skills behind the line of scrimmage by Jalen Morton.
The handoff to Dewanye Tucker, bounces off a tackle just near the 40-yard line.
And that's running small again. He's the smallest guy on the field, so you have to tackle him, get your pad level down, and he just makes himself small, able to disappear, find a crease, and pick up positive yardage on a play that was not that well blocked.
He gets a quick rest, and you see trio of receivers at the top of your screen, finds Jeffrey Rector, and Rector just tries to run with it before he steals the ball.
Yeah, they had it. I mean, great play call on the wide receiver bubble screen. They had blockers in front of them, would have picked up the first down and then some, but just a drop ball by Jeffrey Rector, the guy who they go to when they need big catches.
So back to receive, Sonny Richardson for the Eagles. Caleb Darborn, the freshman punter out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Second punt of the day, trying to pin him inside, and does so. So we'll step aside quickly here from the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Come back with us.
Hey, aren't you Kirk Herbstreit? Oh, I get that all the time, but I do love game day.
Oh, love game day.
You're Desmond Howard.
I wish.
So, you doing any tailgating this weekend? Yeah. Man, we got everything you might need. Charcoal, grills, even generators. We'll get you ready for game day.
Okay, you're the course seller.
Know your game day stuff with this Weber grill, just $399. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot.
1 cup of lemonade. Time to pack up, kids.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Get every live game every Sunday at no extra charge when you switch to DirecTV. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Welcome back to the MEAC SWAC Challenge here in Atlanta, where now until the Celebration Bowl at the end of the season, we celebrate service. And I'm joined by two Greek leaders who are very involved in this whole initiative. Thomas Battles Jr. is the Grand Pole March of Kappa Alpha Psi, and Beverly Smith is the national president of Delta Sigma Theta. I wanted to make sure I got all those right. So Thomas, let me start with you. First of all, you're a MEAC guy, so what are you thinking of the game?
Oh, I think that's great, and we're looking forward to the MEAC pulling this one off against the SWAC. So I am the Grand Pole March of Kappa Alpha Psi. Kappa was founded in 1911 on the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. We have over 150,000 men, college-trained men, all across this country, and I'm just proud to be a part of this celebration of service.
That's incredible. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did yesterday with the Coretta Scott King Leadership Academy?
So the team went over to the school, and they had a great time in painting the school and providing service, similar to the things that all of us do in our organization in terms of our commitment to service. And so the Coretta Scott King School is a great school in this community. And so the Divine Nine members that comprise all of the fraternities and sororities in the historically African-American community. And so we went over and we did our community service project over there.
That's incredible. It looked like an amazing day, and we appreciate all your hard work from all your guys and the work you continue to do. Beverly, tell me a little bit about what community service means to Delta Sigma Theta. I know you guys have so many initiatives right now.
Oh, we do. And, you know, it's a large organization. We have 275,000 initiated members in Delta. We're the largest black women's organization in the world. So really proud of everything we do. Part of our mission statement says, join our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service at our heart. And service is what it's all about. Every Delta chapter has to have community initiatives in their community. They want to make sure the initiatives are relevant to what they're doing. So from making sure that people get a chance to read, from making sure that they're in the school system, to making sure that they're working with those who don't have to try and make them have and make them available. We try to do everything we can to support chapters and support initiatives. We have Christmas events where we try and take families in need and make sure we do something in Christmas. Reading initiatives to make sure that happens. Making sure that voter registration, because part of community service is also social action in terms of making sure that happens. Embody, working with young men in the community as well as young women. We have a Delta Gems and a Delta Academy service, Betty Shabazz Academy. It really focuses on making sure that young women are proud of who they are, empowered in who they are, and make sure that they're strong women in the communities that serve.
Well, very impressive stuff from both of you. Gives a lot more weight to today's game and this whole initiative. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Olivia. As Stephen Scott, the injured Panther, down, and we'll take a quick break. Come back with us here. 11:39 to go in the second. Defensive tackle Stephen Scott taken into the tent for Prairie View A&M as he's being looked at. Yesterday, there was an opportunity, as Olivia was speaking with a couple of the presidents. You see me hard at work, but we had an opportunity to visit Best Academy and the Coretta Scott King Young Women's Leadership Academy. Fantastic work that they're doing over there. Met with the Best Academy principal, Dr. Tim Jones, and the young men that he's helping to lead. We met some fantastic individuals over that way and had a good time. Because not only did we, of course, provide some service, but also had the opportunity to meet some of the gentlemen, a part of the fencing and rock climbing clubs and sports there. And to think rock climbing is going to be an Olympic sport.
Man, I had no idea about that. That's a unique opportunity.
So you have bouldering, you have speed, and you have sport, the different types of climbing. I had the chance to talk with the young men. I mean, I was just blown away. And fencing? How about that? A couple of junior Olympians.
Diversity in sports, too. That's what I like. These young men you're talking about represent diversity in the sport.
Dutise Wright picks up the ball and a short gain ahead. And so fencing, you know, we talk about footwork all the time and football, but these gentlemen shared with me that it was all the more important in fencing. On guard.
On guard, is that what it is? I
go.
thought that was like a cartoon phrase. So next you're going to be calling fencing matches to add to your repertoire. But I got to give you a hard time. Stop, slow down on everything before they start this drive. How'd you feel, Miss AKA, about that Delta getting on the microphone and Delta Sigma Theta talking about all the wonderful things that they do, and you're an AK and you just had to sit there and listen to it?
Well, you know, with all due respect, we were the first, and so it means something to be the first. Founded in 1908 on the campus of Howard University. You would appreciate that.
Of course, but the Deltas were founded at Howard University, too.
Yeah, but again, first as a penalty flag is down on the field. At the end of the day, you know, it doesn't matter what colors you wear or the letters that you put across your chest.
Defense, number 37. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So that moves the ball ahead on that face mask penalty against
second time he's
Eagles.
Been called for one. Brandon Bailey he's reaching out there. So often you get called for the face mask, that means you're reaching. You're not getting your shoulder into the ball carrier, so you're out of place and you're reaching and tacking on penalties for another first down for Prairie View A&M.
Tucker with the run just gets maybe a couple of yards. Darius Royster in on the stop. We've called his name a couple of times, the senior out of Chesapeake, Virginia. But I'm going to go back to, of course, at the end of the day, it's about service, Jay, right? And so you can give of your time, and that is more important than anything. And these organizations are here to serve. And so the Divine Nine, a shout out to all as Dewanye Tucker near the end zone, and he scores, but it looks like that may come back as a penalty marker is down. Dewanye Tucker just broke free. It looked like he was hardly touched, Jay, but that one's coming back.
10-yard penalty.
I'm curious about that hold because it was thrown almost like in the secondary. Once he got to the second level, they're calling it on the center.
Corbin Finlayson.
I just don't see a hold. I'm sorry. I'll give credit when it's due when they make a bad play, but I thought Finlayson, he had him. The linebacker turned his back on the play that's a ticky-tack hold.
Right.
That one there, you got to let him play. He's got a guy in the second level up there driving him. Tough break for Prairie View A&M.
Finlayson, a second-team all-SWAC selection a season ago, and that erases a 27-yard touchdown run. And so the ball pops loose as Bernard Goodwater puts it on the ground. Big hit from Royster.
Timing was slightly off because of the pressure by North Carolina Central. A little bit of indecisiveness on the hand of Jalen Morton. Comes up with the hit, balls on the turf. Fortunate for Prairie View to retain possession.
Now 3rd and a mile for Prairie View as they keep going backwards. Morton feeling the pressure up the middle, and he's brought down. How about that Eagles defense coming through? Kawan Cox.
And they brought the blitz. They've seen something where they figured out a way to get to Morton in the pocket in 3rd and long situations. Pressure's going to come from the left side of your screen. Overload that side. Force Morton to step up, and there was Kawan Cox able to get his first sack on the season. But think about it. It all goes back to that holding call. I mean, without that holding call, you're talking about another touchdown for Prairie View A&M on a questionable holding call. I'd like to see it settled on the field, not by the whistle.
A fortunate turn of events for the Eagles. They'll get the ball when we come back. And of course, if this edifice looks a little familiar, that's because it's the old Turner Field. The Atlanta Braves played in here until 2016. Then they moved out to Cobb County. They've been playing in SunTrust Park now for a couple of years as we Send it down to Olivia.
And Tiffany, it took a lot to convert this hallowed stage into a football coliseum. They added the new turf, obviously, running roughly along the former first baseline, and then added the grandstands on this sideline on the former outfield. They were installed recently, and eventually the baseball stadium seating decks, which you see behind it, will be modified to better fit the new venue for the second year for Georgia State. And had Georgia State not stepped up to take ownership of the former Turner Field, its fate was likely to be that of the old Georgia Dome downtown, which is complete demolition. So everyone's very thankful for that.
All right, thanks so much, Olivia. As Quentin Bell in on the tackle, the senior out of Long Beach, California. And this stadium was originally built back in 1996 for the Summer Olympics. It was known as Centennial Olympic Park, now the Georgia State Stadium. You see the renovations that have gotten underway, and when it was sold over, about $53 million is what they thought or expected it would cost, and they've done a good job, all things considered. It's hard to transition.
And a nice video board as well. It goes, give credit to Georgia State as well. I just learned, I think we both learned, Georgia State is the largest college in the state of Georgia. I always thought it was UGA, but Georgia State is.
Yeah, and you see a good look at the old Braves clubhouse, and that's where North Carolina Central set up shop for today, as Elliott up ahead for about a 5-yard gain.
Finally seeing some signs of life from North Carolina Central, so we can talk some football for a little while. We've had to talk about everything but football because the Central offense was so ineffective, but now they're getting a little drive. They're getting Isaiah Totten involved from the backfield. We're seeing Caldwell start to make some better decisions. And just like that,
I'll start.
they get a penalty, start moving backwards.
Number 73.
Get us to talk about things other than football again.
Second down.
We saw Steven Scott go down for Prairie View A&M. Olivia, you got an update.
Yeah, Tiffany, he's still in the training tent. It's a right lower leg injury, and he's questionable to return.
All right, thanks so much. Steven Scott, the backup defensive tackle for the Panthers. And Sonny Richardson with the catch up ahead, but now third down for North Carolina Central.
Big third down.
What do you do? Because at best, you've got to keep this drive going. You want to find a way to put some points on the board down 20.
Yeah, they've got to cross midfield.
Yeah.
Midfield. I don't know if they've crossed midfield yet. So they need this first down right now to keep possession of the football longer and keep that Prairie View offense off the field.
The toss out
penalty
to Richardson, but a penalty flag, as you mentioned, Jay. And
yep, and wide receiver pick. Got caught with a little rub on the crossing route. And this is coming back.
They have yet to cross midfield, and just as they were inching closer and closer, it looks like the Eagles will be pushed back.
Blocking the back. Offense. Number 13. 10-yard penalty. Third down.
And so often, when you do these little running plays with crossing routes, you want a little rub. But you're going to see he's going there to block right there. 25, Totten came and didn't even try and attempt like he was running a route. He was blocking all the way. And they caught him trying to set that block before the ball got there. Good recognition by the officials. Poor execution by North Carolina Central.
So that backs the Eagles up now, 3rd and 14. Caldwell tries to loft it up in a dangerous pass as Jalen Harris got his hands on that one. And once again, the Panthers defense holds, but the Eagles certainly shot themselves in the foot. And how about Jalen Harris, who we talked about baseball and this being the old Braves Stadium. Harris spent 2 seasons in the minors as a center fielder with the Dodgers organization.
So he feels right at home in ballparks, as they call baseball, say in the ballpark. Great break on the ball and a little bit of a veteran junior for them with some experience and showing he's got some athleticism on the corner as well. That's a penalty. Handed to the punter, Prairie A&M.
And both first-year head coaches talked about minimizing mistakes and being as disciplined as possible. Big penalties on both sides here.
Defense, number 35. 5-yard penalty.
And so they'll be fortunate it was running into the kicker there. They had an all-out block on. So you wonder if they'll accept the penalty or not. Wasn't the greatest punt.
The 5-yard penalty for running into the kicker has been declined. First down, Prairie.
And as I thought, they were declining the penalty.
So Jalen Harris getting in on the action, tipping it up, and Prairie View on top.
Sunrise, sunburn, sunset, repeat. Moonlight all night.
On Friday morning, our own Jay Harris emceed the 11th annual MEAC SWAC Challenge, rather 14th annual MEAC SWAC Challenge High School Seminar. 400 juniors gathered at the historic Booker T. Washington High School to hear from a panel of professionals in the sports and entertainment industry. And through our research, interesting to find that among some of the notable alumni, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the great civil rights leader, and among many that attended that high school, Lena Horne as well.
Okay.
How about it? Bruce, comedian.
Comedian.
Yeah. And Young Thug, you could appreciate, our younger generation and audience can appreciate that as well. So, dichotomy of the students that attended as a penalty flag comes on the field as we're back here. 5:29 to go before the end of the first half.
Against the Prairie View bench. First one.
I think it's important for Prairie View to finish off this first half strong. First quarter, they dominated. Got a little flat here in the second. North Carolina Central's managed to make it an ugly style game instead of the finesse game that Prairie View had on display in the first quarter. So if I'm Eric Dooley, I'm saying, guys, let's finish off this half strong. Put some more points on the board before the half to try and eliminate hope from the Eagles.
To your point, Prairie View has punted on their last two possessions, but able to break away was DeWanye Tucker, and Tucker is still on his feet up the left sideline. Is anybody going to catch him? Will he make it to the end zone? And he's down just near the 5-yard line. Wow, what an amazing run by DeWanye Tucker.
He's a good one, and he uses his size to his advantage. There were a couple of would-be tacklers there, but DeWanye Tucker able to make a miss, keep his shoulder pad level low, and what a fantastic run.
And a big defensive stop on that next play from Darius Royster. But how about 68 yards from Tucker?
Yeah, that little sprint draw, and North Carolina Central sniffed it out well, but Tucker able to make a tackler miss and then keep the legs churning, picking up extra yards. And that's an extra 40 yards after contact, which a normal runner would have gone down. Get them that much closer to the end zone.
That's a player that can make an impact at any time. And here you talked about trying to jumpstart this offense once more that was hot in the first quarter. Can the Panthers come away with points? And the quick pass inside, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, the little slip screen there, and I think, don't get too cute there. On that one, you had a nice run from Tucker. You're fooling the defense. I don't think you need to slip screen. I think you need to try to force the run a little bit, wear him out to see what can happen. I would have given the ball back to Tucker. Instead, he's on the sideline watching.
Brings up 3rd and goal now. And Tucker is not on the field. Bernard Goodwater in the backfield. We'll see what Ted White dials up. Play action. Tries to go to his big man and Marcus Hardy, and Martin in on the breakup.
And good job of defending the pass there. But after the huge run by Tucker, offense kind of fizzled a little bit. Give credit to North Carolina Central. Bend, don't break, forcing the Panthers to settle for a field goal attempt rather than giving up the touchdown.
Zach Elder, the sophomore out of San Antonio, Texas, on to attempt a 29-yard field goal. And this one from Elder is good. And so the Panthers able to tack on 3 more as Elder is slow to get up. The 2017 SWAC Freshman of the Year. So Jay, when you're looking around the MEAC and SWAC, give me your power rankings for HBCU football.
Prairie. I mean, do I know what I'm talking about? We do this before the game. I told you this is a pretty good team. They made a statement coming out versus Rice, so give credit to Prairie. I think if y'all didn't believe me, now you see right there. So coming up at 4, I mean, come on. The Bison predicted, not just me, but they're predicted to come in second in the MEAC by the coaches.
Fair enough.
And tough loss yesterday at Ohio, but they're doing all right. Southern, I think Southern's going to be a good one there. They always compete. And the number 2 is the G-Men from Grambling. They've been owning the SWAC and number 1 team in football. Come on now, say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Aggie Pride. Not only the best team in HBCU, they're a top 5 team in FCS football. Impressive victory over Jacksonville State in a neutral site game. And Central here, the way they're looking, they're going to be out of here in a minute. And Alcorn, I think Alcorn, Fred McNair, I think he's kind of figured out that recipe down there in Mississippi. So look for the Braves. That's my 5. Undebatable, unquestioned.
I don't say it's undebatable, but certainly I would tend to agree with you there as Isaiah Totten, the kickoff return.
May move Prairie up that list. May move Prairie up that list if they can keep playing defense like this and the offense keep having the ability to gain first downs like that. This is an impressive performance against a pretty good team from the MEAC.
An injured player down on the field. When you look at what A&T has the potential to do like they did last year, they went undefeated, won the Celebration Bowl here in Atlanta, and they had a great showing against Jacksonville State in that Week 0 game. But the guy who's going to garner all of the attention is who? Their quarterback in Lamar Raynard.
Most impressive thing, you see all those numbers, right? And he's never lost a game as a starting quarterback. So A&T's lost like 3 games since he's been there. He's been injured for all those games. Undefeated still as a starting quarterback at North Carolina A&T. You throw in some Elijah Bell, the wide receiver, to go in there with it. Right now, North Carolina A&T, they're the hottest thing in Black college.
Yes.
And I'm not just talking about football. They're the largest HBCU now in terms of enrollment. The football team's number 1 without question. Teams ranked in the top 5. The university's doing a fantastic job. So A&T is hot right now, and I think everybody that enjoys HBCU football will say it was a proud moment when they beat the Jacksonville Gamecocks opening week of the season.
So you think homecoming's going to be lit? They call it the greatest homecoming on earth as Isaiah Totten is up the middle.
You can call it anything, but it doesn't mean it is. I can say I'm the best quarterback ever played. Doesn't mean I am. So just because they call it G-Ho doesn't mean it's the greatest homecoming on earth. We know that the one in Washington, D.C. is the best homecoming in.
You mean Tallahassee, Florida. I'm glad you brought that up. Given the fact, though, that you got a young one in Greensboro enrolled at North Carolina A&T. So, you may have to give up a little something along the way. They won out.
Oh, you say my money goes to A&T, so I go there?
Mm-hmm.
Not. Mm-hmm. No, never happened for me. Mama writes that check to them. I refuse to do it.
Now you help stir that pot, put that money in the pot as Caldwell finds Xavier McCoy. First time they found him this afternoon. They're an athlete. He's an athlete that they just can't wait to see what happens for him on the outside.
And this is why I said Prairie needed to finish off that first half a little bit stronger. Now Central has an opportunity to put some points on the board where Prairie had to settle for that field goal.
In Central, first time across midfield and continuing to get something going. E.J. Hicks finds the sticks near the first down marker. I think they'll give it to him. Damon Jackson in on the tackle.
The signs of life finally showing up for North Carolina Central here in Atlanta. The offense finally got off the bus, right, and now we're starting to see it.
And you see the change of pace here in Caldwell. Be quick to see if he calls his own number as they're continuing to move the ball well, but that's what he is best at.
See, those linebackers starting to pay attention in the passing game, so if he can get past the line of scrimmage, there's a huge hole to run in.
And they sniffed that one out.
They're trying to pull the whole right side of the line. The only problem is nobody to read. Great penetration by the defensive line and the recognition. Give credit to that defensive front. Prairie A&M sniffing that play out.
Under 2 minutes to go Both teams have 2 timeouts. Caldwell running, flush out of the pocket, looking, keeping his eyes downfield, and finds his man near the sideline. Corralling the catch is Deshaun Stevens. And so the NC State transfer collects a 15-yard pass, and the Eagles are soaring high.
And it was a great job by Stevenson coming back to the quarterback, realizing that his quarterback was scrambling on the scramble drill, broke off his route, found the soft spot of the defense for the first down.
The hand up the middle, hand off up the middle to Isaiah Totten. And again, you can feel this offense just moving downhill for the Eagles, and we can't stress enough just how important it is for them to get some points on the board before going into the locker room. Caldwell looking on the outside, and the catch is brought in by Stevens.
They're just playing catch with his old high school wide receiver, and that's what they're doing. You see a one-on-one matchup, get on the same page. No coach ever complains at completions. 5-yard out route, make the catch, complete it, get the first down, fresh set of downs inside the 10-yard line.
.61 ticks left on the clock. Caldwell, the handoff to Elliott. And Elliott moving forward and oh so close to the goal line. They'll mark him down just shy as Isaac Claiborne kept him out.
And now pay attention to the clock as well. So it's second down. You got less than a minute. Clock's ticking. You want to be in a hurry but not rush. Get a good play call. And also realize your timeout situation.
The new life is being pumped in to this Eagles offense. Their fans getting behind them as a timeout is spent, 1 remaining, and they'll talk it over.
Timeout.
Take a look at this last run. Looks like he was going to break the plane, but right when he tried to extend out, that was Jamal Curry Elliott. I think the Prairie View defense did a good job of keeping him out of the end zone, at least the football out of the end zone.
So coming up at the half, everyone much anticipated for what? Gimme 5 plus both bands, the Marching Storm and the Sound Machine plus first half highlights. So stick around for
nice little
halftime. Yeah, you know,
nice little presentation I got for you. I got a little something for y'all. You know, you got to give the people what they want. So I think they'll enjoy a little Gimme 5.
Yeah.
Hey, but this one will give you a little hint. It's numerically inclined Gimme 5.
Okay.
Numerically inclined Gimme 5. We'll see if your family education can figure that out.
Taking digs
So look at this.
at the College of Love and Charity. I'm not appreciating it, neither is Rattler Nation. We'll jump on you, don't worry. First 7 drives for North Carolina Central. They racked up just under 100 yards on this drive alone, 71 yards and 4 first downs.
And the Keysman, what have they done? I think they had a sense of urgency. They were tired of just being flat. They got a sense of urgency. They started to get Deshaun Stevens got involved, and it's going to be an extended timeout as they are looking to see if he got in. That angle there is from that angle there, that ball crossed the plane. I thought I saw the ball shadow over the white line. What did you see?
I thought he was just shy of it. I thought when he was down, then the ball came over.
And the key is going to be that knee for sure, but the ball as well. I thought the knee stayed up.
Okay, going down there.
Knees
See?
down there.
I think he's just shy of it.
They kept him out. I think you have to start thinking, if you're North Carolina Central and you are a little short, how do you score? They've not established a running game yet. They haven't established control of the line of scrimmage.
The previous play was under review. The call on the field stands. Second down.
So the call on the field stands. So when you haven't established control of the line of scrimmage, and you almost have to go to a little gimmick, So I think that'll probably involve Caldwell, the
clock
quarterback,
is correct. With 34
some type
seconds on the
of
clock.
zone read,
34.
but looking to have him keep the football and run it in.
If Central can get 7 out of this, remember they receive the ball to start the second half. So Jamal Curry Elliott lined up behind Caldwell. And coming up will be the 10th play of the drive. Caldwell to Elliott, and he's crossed the goal line. Touchdown. So North Carolina Central getting on the board.
Finally saved for Central. Welcome to Atlanta. What do you say when the players play? Well, they often showed up and able to punch the ball in to the end zone. Jamal Curry Elliott finds a quick crease, one cut, gets in.
And Olivia talked about just the trio from Hillside having an impact, and on that drive we saw Deshaun Stevens, Caldwell, and of course Elliott with the score. Adam Lippy on to tack on the extra point. So 10 plays, 72 yards in just over 3 minutes, and Central able to get on the board just before the half.
And that's why you have to finish off drives. I know Prairie View's on cruise control. They're up 20-0, had the ball inside the 10. Big difference in going up 23-0 and 27-0. Then you put pressure on them. But Central responded nicely. The defense got the stop, and the offense went down there and put points on the board going into the half. And as you mentioned, they get the ball to start the second half. So some momentum at the end of the half can really determine how this football game is going to end.
Great opportunity for both of these teams, and when we talked with Granville Eastman, he said, this is a big stage for our players. It's a great opportunity to continue to showcase our program, and also a great pride behind the Eagles. Intensity and execution. Those are words that he drilled into his players, and he continued to say on the call with us. He needed to see his players do both of them, and that drive was probably the greatest example thus far of them both bringing intensity and executing. So picked up, and the Panthers moving ahead thanks to Zarian Holcomb. So what will the Panthers elect to do before the end of the half with that return?
Yeah, with the return, I think, in the way your quarterback's been playing, I think you take a couple shots down the field, see if you can get some one-on-one jump balls with Tristan Wallace, and maybe try and steal back another field goal before the half.
Not only that, remember, they've got 2 timeouts to work with as well. Jalen Morton has cooled off considerably. He started the game red hot, 10 for 13, and a touchdown pass and run. And the handoff here to Dewanye Tucker, who continues to shake and bake. I mean, it's like R1, L1 on your PlayStation controller when he gets the ball.
Yeah, he's got shakes, and the ability to make people miss in small spaces. You just can't bring him down. That ability, if you can block for him, he can be a threat.
So he picks up the first down and a quick spike. Do you like that play call, though?
So, I mean, giving him the ball is like being aggressive, and you see him there. Look at that, make that guy miss, and the next guy's going to miss. Then the third, I mean, you had 4 guys miss him before they were able to bring him down to the ground.
And coaches say he can bring the pain at any time, an impact player, even though a diminutive stature at 5'6". Morton looking down the field, has plenty of time, finds this man wide open, and Marcus Hardy, a huge cushion given by that Eagles secondary.
Yep. Disappointing end by North Carolina Central. The offense woke up. Now Prairie View responding in a major way. 2 big plays and able to get the field goal unit on the field.
Zach Elder stepped on the scene last year And Turnhead was the SWAC Freshman of the Year. He was 10 of 12 for field goals a season ago. This one a 40-yard attempt. And this one is blocked, so it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Not return. Well, no return here, but wow, what a stand to go into the locker room from special teams. The Eagles stepping up and not allowing any additional points on the board.
See where the penetration comes from, or was there enough trajectory on this? No, that was right in the middle. This kicker just did not get enough trajectory.
That's the end of the second quarter.
Easy block. Should be the last final play of the first half.
And those are the type of pick-me-up plays that you want to see, given the fact that your offense just marched down the field, put up their first points of the game, and then special teams backing you up.
And we talked about the momentum. Prairie View clearly outplayed North Carolina Central in the first half, but going into the locker room, which team's a little bit more fired up? It seems to be North Carolina Central, even though they're trailing.
First-year head coaches on both sidelines as Eric Dooley gathers his troop and heads into the locker room. Granville Eastman has to be proud of the last several minutes of this first half as the Eagles showing fight. And we go to the field as Eastman is with our Olivia Decker.
Thank you, Tiffany. Coach, a very heated way to end the half. What did you see on that last drive by North Carolina?
Well, I thought we had an opportunity to get some points because we gave up the momentum coming back on defense. So I thought we had a chance to probably get some points, but a couple of mistakes right there, so we got to correct that going in.
Your quarterback, Jalen Morton, started off so hot. What have you seen since his last touchdown?
Well, he just got to settle down and let the game continue. I mean, he don't have to do anything spectacular, just make the plays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Prairie View A&M, who jumped off to a hot start, cooled off as the Eagles came flying back 23-7 at the half of this MEAC SWAC Challenge. Halftime remaining live here. Let's listen in to North Carolina Central's band. Sound machine holding it down for the Eagles fans. Come back with us to Georgia State Stadium. Welcome back to Atlanta here. Prairie View on top 23-7 over North Carolina Central in this MEAC SWAC Challenge. Back here in the booth, we have the opportunity to see a fresh face with us, and Dr. Charles McClellan, who is the newly minted SWAC commissioner. Thanks for joining us, and how does it feel to be running the show now?
It's kind of a humbling feeling. I've been on the sideline as an athletics director. Being commissioner, it's a new feeling. but one that's humbling. I've been a part of the Southwestern Athletic Conference literally all of my life, and to be able to lead all 10 member institutions, it's an overwhelming feeling.
Now we've been friends for a while, so
We
it's
have.
always been Charles or Doc. Now I got to call you like the commissioner.
Well, you call me other things, Jay, so I'll take that.
Well, coming in here watching this football game, and one, I know you got deep ties with Prairie, so you're proud. You're a proud commissioner right now as y'all are beating up on the MEAC right now.
Well, absolutely. The commissioner of the MEAC, Dennis Thomas, at the reception yesterday really drilled it to us, and he told me he was 9-3 in this game, so we're 2 quarters away from making it 9-4. So second day on the job, this is a pretty good gift for
You
me.
should have told him you were undefeated. You were winless, but you're undefeated as a commissioner. Now you got an opportunity for a win. What are some of the big things we can look forward to your leadership as a commissioner of the SWAC?
Well, one of the things we want to do is bring that history and tradition back. The Southwestern Athletic Conference, we're getting ready to celebrate 100 years in about a year and a half, and we want to bring all of those SWAC greats back. We want to rebrand the conference with all of those individuals. When you talk about Hall of Fame football players, you have to start and you have to end with the Southwestern Athletic Conference. So we want to make sure that we put that brand out there. We want to make sure that we continue to lead FCS in football attendance. And we want to bring that history, recognition, and notoriety back to the Southwestern Athletic Conference so we can be everything that the SWAC is supposed to be.
Gotcha. When you think about the Celebration Bowl there, y'all are 1-2 in the Celebration Bowl, but it seems like now with Prairie View emerging, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's going to win the SWAC this year?
Well, that's got to be a tough question. We have 10 great institutions.
If you would have answered,
we have 10 great institutions competing, but I tell you, each of our member institutions have put a lot of resources into our football programs and our athletic programs as a whole. Our academic rates have risen, so have the competitiveness on the football field.
Smart man.
All right, we appreciate your time, and
No problem.
good luck on this journey as the new SWAC commissioner, Dr.
Thanks
McClellan.
for having me.
Well, North Carolina Central will receive here in the second half, and certainly they got things going there towards the end. Big plays by their offensive and special teams units. As we'll send it down to our Olivia Decker with more from Coach Eastman.
Yeah, guys, head coach Granville, Coach Eastman told me that he was worried about coming out slow today, and that's exactly what happened. You know, he's a former defensive coordinator here, so he's going to talk about the defense and allowing 23 points. He told me there were so many possible turnovers that they left on the field. In fact, that was mostly his message in the locker room, saying you got to take advantage of those opportunities. But he feels like they have momentum. We saw it at the end of the first half, and that was what he told his team. We're still in this.
How's that heat doing down on the field? It was very hot to start. Is it cooled off at all?
No, it's a little sticky.
Is it stickier or is it still just sticky?
It's like a constant stickiness, I would say. That's my official report.
You got to make sure you get near one of those fans, Olivia, and try to take advantage of that. She said earlier in the game that it was going to be nearly 93 degrees or better on that field. So please stay cool and hydrated, because that's what the teams had to do in preparation for this heat.
And once again, when we saw North Carolina Central struggle, it was because of lack of success on first down. They were playing behind the chains. Coming out second half, first play, you lose 5 yards. Not the start you want to have. They have to become more productive on first down.
And like you said, they have to rely on Chauncey Caldwell to hand off to Tyquan Watson, the junior out of Tallahassee, brought down by Drake Cheatham.
Big play. Early in the second half, this is a big play right here. Third down, obvious passing situation. What's the quarterback, Chauncey Caldwell, going to bring to the table? What can he accomplish to keep his offense on the field?
A little pressure there, but gets the pass off, and McCoy tried to go up and grab it. And Isaac Claiborne applying that pressure to Caldwell.
And there was a whiff block here by the left guard. He's got his guy. He whiffs on the linebacker coming with the blitz. If he can just secure that block for half a second longer, Caldwell's got a healthy pocket, can deliver a strike. Instead, it was a miss. Brings it on the punting situation.
And if you're Granville Eastman, he talked to our Olivia Decker just about starting slow. This is not the start you want to see to start the third quarter. John Picaro, the rugby-style punt. And Parker will let that one bounce down at the 40-yard line. Well, Dewanye Tucker, human highlight reel, he can get it going.
He was a difference maker. We talked about the quarterback, what he was doing, but Tucker proved that he was so elusive to bring down. Very hard to bring down to the turf. He used his small size and stature to lower his pad level, and he had some straight up fantastic highlight reel runs, particularly this one here capped off where he was able to make almost everybody on the North Carolina Central defense miss.
169 yards on the ground. Prairie View had 400 total yards in the first half. Say something about it.
They whipped him pretty good.
Yeah. Wallace couldn't bring that one in, and he appeared to injure himself when going for that pass. Both he and Marcus Martin are slow to get up.
They're trying to run that skinny post route there, and they might have just come down awkwardly on that shoulder. But that would be a huge loss for Prairie View if he's not able to get up and continue in this game. He's the guy the offense is built around, and take a look at it going to the ground. Nowhere to really break his fall. Seems like he's in a lot of pain.
So while he's being attended to, we'll step aside and take a break here in Atlanta.
It's never been easier to watch ESPN3 games right here on Xfinity X1.
Introducing ESPN3 on Xfinity X1.
Good sign for Prairie View A&M as Tristan Wallace was able to get up under his own power and walk to the sideline. He's had 6 catches today for 62 yards. He'll take a break on this play as Jalen Morton steps back and quickly gets rid of it. Saw the pressure coming from up front.
There's no foul for the ground.
And they need more of that. I think what we didn't see a lot of was North Carolina Central defensive line. When we talked to the coach, we said our line has to dictate to the offense. They got pushed around a little bit in the first half. See if they can get it together here in the second half and get some pressure on the Prairie View quarterback.
Wallace back in the game to the bottom of your screen. And once more, you see the Eagles applying pressure. This time, they get to the quarterback. Big hit from the Eagles, Brandon Bailey. Boy, he's had a nice ball game this afternoon.
We call his name a lot. He's had some face mask penalties, had some big tackles, but he's been active, and that's what you need from your inside linebacker. But you see what they're doing. They're just bringing one more than Prairie View can block. And we saw that start to develop in the first half when Eastman realized the front four couldn't get there. He found a couple blitz looks that could get to the quarterback, and he's doing it here again in the second half.
Bailey, a sophomore out of Deerfield Beach, Florida, pushed the Panthers back 7 more yards as Sonny Richardson set the return, signals the fair catch. And that's where the Eagles will get things going. Now let's take a look at today's Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. So Chauncey Caldwell, a quick flank out to Xavier McCoy. McCoy up ahead. Again, we talked about this is a player that they just can't wait to see how he develops. McCoy had an 89-yard touchdown grab a season ago. Want to get him more involved in the offense.
And I like what they're doing right now, up-tempo. They moved the ball when they went to 2-minute offense, no huddle. Now they're trying to go up-tempo. And they got positive yards on first down and trying to keep it going here on second. So nice adjustment by T.C. Taylor, offensive coordinator for North Carolina Central.
Quick toss out to Stevens. Deshaun Stevens, the teammate of both Jamal Curry Elliott and Chauncey Caldwell at Hillside High back in Durham.
Why do you keep calling him Deshaun? They say they call him Day Day.
I get it.
Day-Day.
You know what? You get to call him Day Day.
And
I'm sure his mother and father would appreciate it. Yeah.
And the homies appreciate Day Day. So, but that play right there, we talked about how they never established control of the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 3, they try to run for it. They can't pick up a yard, and now they have to punt. give credit to that defensive line for Prairie View A&M. They've just kind of neutralized what I thought was the more powerful offensive line in North Carolina Central, and they've taken away the running game.
Yeah. The Eagles 1 for 8 on third downs, and this is the 9th punt of the afternoon for the Eagles. And this one gets an Eagles bounce as it's down at the 6-yard line. So that's where the Panthers will get started when we come back.
Chase, make more of what's yours.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by McDonald's. The Prairie View A&M marching storm rocking in the stands, saying who's going to run this town. Thus far, the Panthers were running things in that first half. But, Jay, maybe you need to take off that purple jacket and get back on the field and get some offense going.
Yeah, Morton needs to find a rhythm, start completing some throws. They're going to stay with their foot on the gas pedal. They want to keep throwing the ball. That's their intensity. And when you got a head coach that was a former offensive coordinator, he wants to throw it. But as we saw the statistics earlier, Morton cooled off a little bit. Hot start, cooled off a little bit. He's got to jump start it back into gear.
Yeah, the first 5 drives that came out with 3 touchdowns. Since then, it's been a punt, 3 of them, a blocked field goal, and a made field goal for the Panthers. So DeWande Tucker, who has been the highlight of the show thus far, continuing to ramp it up.
You know what? Lil dude can just go. He can just go. When he's running, gets that pad level down, he makes guys miss. Special back. A little bit like that. I'm not going to call him Tariq Cohen, but a little Tariq Cohen-esque.
Now with the Chicago Bears, that 22-yard game moves the sticks and more. And the pass completed to Kalen Riles, his first reception of the game for the redshirt sophomore out of Tallahassee, Florida. And you see the tempo picked up for the Panthers.
Yeah, and we're seeing Morton start to establish some tempo a little bit there, completing some throws and trying to get the combination between run-pass. And this is when I think they're dangerous, because they can find Tristan Wallace. We haven't called his name in a while. They need to make some more targets for him, find a one-on-one matchup.
He's at the bottom of your screen. And an Eagles player is down. That's 5th-year senior defensive tackle Randy Awoyu.
And we talked about Olivia's report earlier in the first half. During these games, it's been the second half, which has become the cramp contest, where players start to cramp if they didn't listen to proper hydration instructions from their coaches. So I don't think this will be the last cramp we see, but this is going a little bit early. 10 minutes left in the third quarter.
How often did you call on that pickle juice on the sideline?
Oh, man, pickle juice, man, I ain't that old, man. We had Gatorade, too. Come on now.
I'm saying, look, old school remedies work, too. Don't act like you're too good for it
Next
now.
you're going to say I was taking salt tablets, right? Like, imagine that. They used to tell you to take a salt tablet was like the exact wrong thing to do. But science has come along where Gatorade was discovered. It's all about hydration.
Good water. With the carry, and looks like there may have been some trouble on that exchange. Darius Royster was there to meet him.
Big stop. That was 3rd and short when Prairie View was stepping on the gas pedal, trying to get that offense going. Looked like they had some momentum, but huge stop by this Central defense. Was able to force the run in the hole. Good job getting there, locking it up.
So Caleb Darborn, who has been relatively busy this afternoon for the Panthers after their hot 20-0 start. And Sonny Richardson calls for the fair catch. Well, we'll have a special Sunday night kickoff matchup for you tonight on ABC. Number 8 Miami takes on 25th ranked LSU at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Our coverage kicks off at 7:30 Eastern. And it's also streaming live on the ESPN app. You know why I tune in to Miami these days? I mean, I'm a Florida girl, so clearly it was the U. But yeah,
you like the
turnover chain is sexy, because we've seen a lot of programs since then try to come up with something to try to match that turnover chain swag. But nobody can do it like the boys from the bottom, as we call it in Florida and down south in the U. The handoff to Isaiah Totten. They've got to get him going. Bounces off a couple of tacklers, and he's near first down yardage.
And that's the key, positive yards on first down. You know, we said they have to start establishing that. They wanted to run the football. They think their running backs are the strength of this offense. Get them going. Force feed the run.
And to Totten, once again, remember, he's a guy who last year was able to really win that starting position over some great running backs in Darrell McClain and Ramon Simpson when he popped out for that 81-yard touchdown run against Duke in the opening game a season ago. And now he's the go-to guy and one of those backs you look out for in the MEAC. Caldwell tries to thread it in. Great concentration by E.J. Hicks to bring it in.
Nothing wrong with getting lucky every now and then. I mean, great break on the ball by Drake Cheatham, number 22, the free safety, but fantastic concentration by E.J. Hicks to keep an eye on the football and haul it in.
Drake Cheatham is down on the field. E.J. Hicks showing off his speed and great hands.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great job of getting off the hash marks by Cheatham. Have to come away with that interception. Cheatham's just a freshman now. By the time he's later on the year, that'll be an interception, but it was a good job of concentrating by E.J. Hicks. But in that situation there, Chauncey Caldwell, the quarterback, North Carolina Central, he got away with a bad decision, but was rewarded with the first down.
And you talked about those cramps, I think.
Coming the cramp bowl. we should like monitor how many cramps we get in the second half. See if there'll be more cramps than first downs.
Well, certainly here, what's unique about today's game, not only the first meeting between Prairie View A&M and North Carolina Central, but also a ton of new head coaches across HBCU football. Two in action today, Willie Simmons at Florida A&M University, Rob Milstead, who is an alum of Delaware State, also Ernest Jones at Morgan State. Who stands out to you in the SWAC outside of Eric Dooley?
Maynard. Connell Maynard coming down from Hampton, you know, the A&T guy. He's an offensive guy. And in Alabama A&M, they've been dying for some offense. They just want to have some offense, and I think he's going to bring offense there. Now, how long it takes for the defense to catch up, I don't know, but he's bringing an offensive mindset to Huntsville, Alabama. So I think that could be an interesting show there.
Eric Dooley, a New Orleans native, and Olivia told us at the top of the broadcast about Granville Eastman and his journey as Cheatham is being assisted off. But Granville Eastman, born in Guyana, South America. His parents migrated to Canada, spent his time growing up in Toronto, and he said, look, I went from essentially cricket to hockey. Fell in love with hockey, and then all of a sudden transferred over to the pigskin, and certainly that's been a great journey for him as he ventured up north and then found his way in North Carolina. So Eastman, who was named interim head coach back on December 8th. To Sonny Richardson with a quick screen, creating opportunity. He's up the sideline. He's got one man to beat. A little step inside, cut back. Yes, sir. Touchdown. 51 yards, but there's a flag on the field.
Probably an illegal block downfield by one of the wide receivers, but what a great individual effort.
There's no flag on the play. Touchdown.
What? They picked it up.
Picked up the flag. Fortunate turn of events for Central.
I mean, a great job of getting inside out. Could have been that block in the back there call that they might have missed, but I thought I saw the flag come out late in the run, but great job of staying imbalanced, finishing off a fantastic play.
Adam Lippe, the redshirt freshman out of Tucker, Georgia, want to add the extra point, so 23-14. North Carolina Central hot stepping into the end zone. They're coming back.
Difference between excellence and mastery is all the difference in the world. Introducing the all-new Lexus ES, a product of mastery. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
North Carolina Central hanging around as the Eagles able to put up a touchdown. And don't count them out just yet. This is a type of ball game that certainly favors MEAC teams in general, just because they like slugfests. Well, tomorrow at 8, number 20 Virginia Tech and number 19 Florida State kick off their seasons on ESPN with a college football megacast. We'll have you covered on ESPNU, ESPN News, and ESPN3 with alternate productions to bring you the game in the biggest way. We're talking Marty Smith and Ryan McGee, first ever Goodyear Blimpcast, 1,000 feet above Doak Campbell Stadium for the entire game. As always, you can see it streaming live on the ESPN app from everywhere. How about Josh Jackson for the Huskies and DeAndre Francois, Willie Taggart naming him the starting quarterback for the Seminoles. I'm going to watch out for that quarterback duel.
And the storyline there, Willie Taggart era begins in Tallahassee.
So we'll see if the two Willies can bring their winning ways to Tallahassee. Of course, Willie Simmons, the former Prairie View A&M head coach, won his opening game as the Florida A&M head man, picking up a W over Fort Valley State on yesterday. Dewanye Tucker to the outside. Penalty marker comes out.
I will tell you, in the open field.
Offense, number 7.
Tucker is almost unstoppable. I mean, you can't bring him down. Very hard to tackle. He's just got the ability to make the first person miss. I mean, look at this. Sees him, size him up. That's the hold right there as he gets to the edge. But that cut to get by.
And Devontae Reynolds, the MEAC preseason defensive player of the year. We featured him in the open, and he is getting up from what is likely a cramp.
You know, earlier we saw Sonny Richardson with a fantastic touchdown. The key with these type of bubble screens is once you have to know where your protection's coming from. So you're taught, don't go out of bounds, find a way to get back to the inside, and then once you get to the inside, then you can make people miss. So he got inside first, then you go out. So often we see young receivers go outside, then try and go in. Great job of going inside, then back out. And the offensive line, you can use those as little shield blockers. And that was a fantastic job by Sonny Richardson.
So that one just high as Tucker was open on that left side. And where has the offense gone for Prairie View?
Yeah, you lost that accuracy. You have to make that throw. We just talked about how elusive Tucker is running the football. Get him the ball in open space. On the sideline by himself, that's an easy throw. Instead, Morton's cooled off a little bit, losing his accuracy. Now it's 3rd and long.
Morton going for it in double coverage. Dangerous throw to Tristan Wallace. He can't bring it in, but the Eagles secondary was right there. DeMario Evans helping out the cause.
We know this is a dose of what they like to do. Jump ball situations, but North Carolina Central anticipated it, put a safety over the top. That's asking a lot, asking Tristan Williams to jump over 2 defensive backs and not just one.
There's 3 straight incompletions from Jalen Morton, who again started off the game seemingly in midseason form, and tough break there as looked like there may have been some contact near the punter, and then Richardson picks up the ball. And great field position for the Eagles as we send it down to Olivia.
Yeah, guys, North Carolina Central offensive lineman Nick Leverett is one of 169 college football nominees for distinguished recognition of the 2018 All-State AFCA Good Works team. Guys, that's a big deal. It's one of the most esteemed honors in college football for more than 25 years. It celebrates the remarkable accomplishments of college football student athletes on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. And this is a kid from Concord, North Carolina. Leverett's a two-time All-MEAC offensive lineman and team captain. He's a criminal justice major with a 3.37 overall GPA and a campus leader. You can see why he's a finalist.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're glad to have him back along that offensive line, coming back off of a shoulder injury from a season ago. Elliott in space. He picks up the first down, but another yellow marker on the field.
Great play selection. Good job by Caldwell getting it to Elliott earlier, but seems like he's probably coming back for a hold downfield.
Hold it. Offense, number 6. From the spot of the foul, 10-yard
Well, that was the hillside connection you talked about, the quarterback, hillside. You had the running back with the ball carrier from hillside. You had the person committing the penalty, number 6, Day Stevenson from hillside as well. All you have to do is just stay in front of the guy. Stay in front of him. You don't have to grab his jersey. You're not an offensive lineman. Just use your body to shield and get in the way.
Man in motion. Totten gets the handoff right up the middle. And once more, we see some laundry on the field.
Offense, number 50. 10-yard penalty, first down.
One thing that we saw for North Carolina Central and both of their scores, that they were able to push the pace in that 2-minute drill and getting going. But here, this is a lot of stop and go.
Yeah, stop and go, and just a takedown by Andrew Dale. Lost his balance and took down Ronald Collins, the defensive lineman. Can't afford to make these penalties when you're in the trail position. You're chasing down Prairie View, who's got a 9-point lead.
So now 1st and 19. Quick pass out to Isaiah Totten in the flat. He's near first down yardage, brought down by Reggie Stubblefield. But again, this is one of those guys who's on the HBCU Player of the Year watch list. They've got to get number 25 involved.
And you saw a little glimpse there. He's got some step to him, that little it factor you have to have. Explosive, doesn't take long to get from 0 to 60. Top speed in a hurry. Accurately thrown ball, and Isaiah Totten able to pick up the first down with that catch out of the backfield.
Good for 22 yards. This time, play action. Caldwell being chased out and just has to throw it away.
And you live with that one. Just an incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10, no problem. Take a look at Totten on the previous play. Look at the explosiveness and the step. Keep the balance, finish off the run, pick up the first down.
Well, this has been a great weekend of football here. And yesterday we got a chance to witness Washington and Auburn in action. And now this MEAC SWAC challenge as number 2 calls his own number. Caldwell up ahead. Stubbs in on the stop. He's the top returning tackler for the Panthers. Senior out of Millville, New Jersey. Number 20 in yellow. And another guy down on the field, and I think that's Stubbs.
Another cramp. I mean, what are we up to now in terms of the cramp bowl?
I think we're around 4 or 5. That's my unofficial count, Jay.
Players just giving the effort, and Stubbs is the leading tackler from Prairie View A&M from a season ago. Been their most consistent defensive player his time on campus.
Well, this Panthers program, who won 3 straight under Willie Simmons, coming into this Dooley era, currently leading 23-14 with 5:22 to go here in this third quarter, but high expectations. They're not hoping, but they're expecting. Eric Dooley has set the bar high, and he's a guy who comes with a championship pedigree. And a good look there at Ted White, the offensive coordinator. And that's one of the things that we asked him. Look, as a longtime offensive coordinator around the SWAC, what did it feel like to hand over the reins to someone else? And then Ted White, obviously very capable.
And Ted's paid his dues as well, so they're a lot alike. Ted's been at different institutions coaching. Dooley has too, and Dooley just wanted his chance. And I always wondered, I used to say, what's taking the SWAC so long to figure it out? It's like when A&T, the same situation at A&T, like, why didn't somebody try and go get Sam Washington? A&T was winning championships off their defense. Why not take their defensive coordinator? So
So Ted White, you see his numbers there. And a great career at Howard University. But you talked about, hey, why didn't they go for it? The Eagles going for it there. And the score. How about it? The Eagles continuing to gnaw their way back into this ball game. Day-Day, as you like to call him, Deshaun Stevens, bringing it in from his homeboy and best friend, Chauncey Caldwell.
That's what they needed. The Hillside boys showed up. Day-Day ran the route. This is one of those throws where as a quarterback you say, hey, just get to the corner end zone. When you get there, look for it. It's going to be in your right pocket. Put it on the money. That's a dime piece.
I feel like that conversation would have been like, bruh.
I can get him, man.
Just
put it up,
ball.
man.
Just put it up, man. I got you.
That's a sparking. That momentum, it left at the end of the first half, and North Carolina Central is keeping control of Uncle Mo. They're only down by 2. I just like the location of this throw where he's the only one that's going to touch that football, able to haul it in. There was good coverage on the outside by Jalen Haynes, but just a better throw and catch from the combination of Caldwell to Stevens.
And the coaches told us that Stevens, one of those guys who came in as just a day one leader, transferred in from NC State. He addressed a need for them in terms of leadership, and he's stepped up to the plate. So the last 2 drives for the Eagles, 8 plays, 117 yards, but more importantly, 2 touchdowns.
Points on the board.
That's right. And brings them within 2.
Hanging around, and that's what we talked about. You have to put a team away. Try and eliminate hope the best you can early. And we just did not see Prairie View able to do so, and now they find themselves in a football game that's up in the air, completely up in the air. Did you see this coming?
No. I mean, I thought that we would see a great fight from North Carolina Central, but after that first quarter, I was just blown away by Prairie View A&M. I mean, I thought they just had everything clicking, and for whatever reason, they've gotten away from what helped them. If you put the ball in number 1's hands, and Dewanye Tucker, typically really good things are going to happen. Find him.
But I think also Tucker's played well, but we haven't seen number 11. That's their best football player. They say that, Tristan Wallace, but I think we haven't seen him effective because Jalen Morton's gone cold, ice cold.
Yeah.
So he needs to get it going again. And that's the fair catch with the new fair catch rule change that they've made.
Yeah, so anything within the 20-yard line and you signal for the fair catch, the ball will be placed at the 25-yard line.
25-yard line.
And that was smart right there for the fair catch to be called because the return man was drifting backwards on the 6 or 7 yard line. Call the fair catch, get the ball back at the 25.
They always say, and I know it's cliche, the tale of 2 halves, but you look at this third quarter and what North Carolina Central has been able to do, 136 yards gained in this quarter alone compared to just 30 for the Panthers.
They took the momentum, and they're keeping control of it. And let's see if Prairie View can get this offense back in sync.
Just over 5 to go, 1st and 10, and it's whistle dead before the play gets going.
False start.
Call Danny Garza, number 70.
Offense, number 7. 5-yard
Leaving
penalty.
early.
First down.
"21 unanswered points from the Eagles since the second quarter. And Caldwell has helped to carry that load for them. Here's Morton across the middle. Finds Tristan Wallace. You said they needed to find number 11 in Wallace, and they did so right there on that slant.
They got him the completion, and they moved him around. One of the few times we've seen him come across the formation and catch the ball in traffic.
7th reception of the day, and here Morton holds on to it. And that might be good enough for a first down. Yep, they moved the sticks. Khalid Blunt in on the stop, and if that Blunt name sounds very familiar to HBCU fans all around, his father is Mel Blunt, the Steelers legend and Hall of Famer.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
That means his brother played football for him, Akil Blunt.
Akil Blunt, that's absolutely right. On the handoff to Tucker, and Tucker picks up good first down yardage. Devontae Reynolds in on the stop.
And now we're starting to see some life in the offense. We're calling out those names. Tucker, Wallace. See if they can keep it going, if Morton can stay hot.
Quick toss out to Riles. Riles trying to be wrangled up, but continuing to avoid tacklers. And he's just short of that first down. They're going to give it to him. Once more, Patrick Connor in on that stop.
You know what? I think Prairie got away from doing what they did well in the first half. Their team speed showed up. I haven't really seen the team speed now. They've kind of slowed it down, and give Central credit. They made it a little bit of a slugfest, made it ugly at times to try and neutralize that speed.
Right up the middle, gashing hole for Caleb Roach. He scored in that first half. A downhill runner who they call a closer for them. The junior out of Rockwall, Texas, keeps the chains going with that 21-yard gain.
And that's the thing. When they get it going on all cylinders, get you going east-west, then a little north-south, then they're able to sneak in the downhill runner and Caleb Roach. Good job by the center and the guard, Garza and Finlayson, having a hole for Broach to explode through. They stand him up, and you see kept the pad level low, and that's just too big a hole for any level running back.
Another player down. And it looks like Mike Robinson is being helped off. Jay, this is fun because we get a chance to open the season here in Atlanta. If I'm going to put you on the spot and says who's going to play in this year's Celebration Bowl, who you got?
A&T and Grambling.
Okay, simple as that. So a rematch of last year. Okay, that's the easy route.
Yeah, I took the easy one, but A&T obviously not going against them, number 1 team. But I do think if you are going to beat Grambling, this is the year to do it. So either Southern or Prairie View. I believe in everybody online, the Alcornites, they're giving me a hard time. I put them on the bubble, but.
Man wide open across the field, and Jose Madrano, dragging maroon jerseys. Won't go down. The 20-yard gain as you see the yellow flags on the field. Jose Madrano, the redshirt freshman out of Alvin, Texas, who caught his first career TD
There's no foul on
last
the play.
weekend.
First to go, Prairie View.
So the flags waved off. First down. More importantly, first and goal for the Panthers. So a nice solid drive thus far. And what have you liked most about it, Jay?
Well, they went back to playing fast a little bit, and Morton got hot. Morton just completing the ball gives them an opportunity to have success.
Currently 3 of 3 for 34 yards. This time he hands it off, and Tucker brought down in the backfield. Big stop there from the Eagles defense. Chuck Manning, the freshman out of Durham.
And one of the few times we've seen Devontae Reynolds step up and make a big play coming up from that secondary position. able to help finish off the tackle along with Chuck Manning, the true freshman that you mentioned earlier, big number 99.
Bright spot for that 2018 recruiting class for the Eagles. Morton up the middle, holds on to it. And that'll bring up 3rd and goal.
If you're thinking Prairie View, you've got to be thinking if you get a one-on-one situation, you throw it up for grabs to Tristan Wallace at the top of your screen. They've got a little safety help over there to help them out, but that's Wallace standing on the number 10 at the top of your screen. That safety's there to help out to try and take away any jump ball situations.
And also look for number 18 in this position. They said Marcus Hardy could be an X factor as well. He targets number 18 and nearly picked off. I mean, well played there by Anthony Sherrill.
Wow, he knew his keys. He knew what to look for. They scouted that play out. They must have seen that before. But he gets a fantastic jump on the ball. That would have been a pick 6 if he was able to hold on. That's knowing your scouting report. They saw something that they anticipated. Prairie View would like to run that play inside the red zone, and Sherrill not able to capitalize.
Field goal attempt by Zach Elder. The 24-yarder is good. So now, instead of being up by 2, they're up by 5. And that means Central would need a touchdown to take the lead with 1:11 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And starting to get interesting, Jay. And just think, we've got a whole nother quarter to go after this one.
Yeah, and I give credit. Central still in striking distance, down by less than a touchdown. Prairie View able to put some points on the board, but they haven't scored a touchdown in a long time. Something to keep a note of.
North Carolina Central, it's been really all Eagles here in this 3rd quarter.
They hit them with the big plays. Sonny Richardson with a fantastic job on a bubble screen. Outside, they're able to capitalize and finish off the run to get into the end zone. And then this was just a nice throw and catch between the Hillside boys. Caldwell to Stevens.
So Granville Eastman and his debut as head coach, the interim head coach for the Eagles. Taekwon Watson bringing it out.
See, that's one of those examples there. If he fair catches that ball on the 1-yard line, he gets it on the 25. Instead, they'll get it on the 19.
Let's send it down to our Olivia Decker.
Tiffany, you mentioned Caldwell and Stevens being such good friends. It was so fun for me to watch them celebrate after that touchdown. They kept running. In fact, they almost went back into their own locker room. They just couldn't slow down. And, you know, coaches told us earlier this week that Deshaun Stevens is a well-liked guy on the team. He's been a leader since he arrived from NC State. Well, he's had a big impact already in this game, and even guys on the defense were coming over to give him high fives and handshakes after that touchdown. I also heard the offensive line coach for NC Central telling the guys 3 things to keep in mind here. No more penalties, keep having fun, and just fight longer than them. Good message.
I don't know if it's fun if you're losing, though. but they fought themselves back into this game. And, you know, I can see why Stevens was able to become a leader because he went to NC State, but he's from Durham. So during the offseason, a lot of football players, you go work out with guys in your hometown at the local college. So he probably knew and played with a number of guys on this team. And by him making the move to come back and play for Central, leaving North Carolina State, showing you that work ethic that it's going to take to succeed at the highest level, seems like it's a pretty natural fit and things are going well down there in Durham.
And just think, Central's got something cooking there. I mean, you look at the fact, despite last year's fumble of that 4th consecutive MEAC championship, they were certainly in the hunt for it. But, you know, they won 3 straight under Jerry Mack from, 2014 to 2016, had a Celebration Bowl appearance, and so close to actually winning it all here. So they feel like they've got an opportunity to do something special in the Bull City. And much like we've seen all day, they've got fight. they've got fight and they've got the players certainly to help them get there.
And you and I, we've seen it firsthand, being MEAC alums like we are. They came in and took the MEAC by storm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we thought they were going to come in there and struggle, but give credit to their athletic director, Ingrid Wicker-McCrae, the way they invested in it, invested in the program, and they saw they had a chance to compete early, and they've continued to do that. They went out and they got Jerry Mack. Now they want to keep Granville Eastman. They want to keep their winning ways. And, I always think in sports, in the college football landscape, you need your rivals to do well to knock you off the top. So I think Gramblin's been rolling because Southern hasn't been able to knock them off. Well, Central was one of the only teams that can kind of keep A&T humble.
Right.
But now A&T's not humble right now. They're the cockiest, flashiest things out there in college football.
That's what you call your head on swole.
Yeah. So, and if somebody's going to knock them off, it's probably going to have to be North Carolina Central to humble A&T if it's going to happen.
So we saw Jamal Curry Elliott go back to the sideline. Isaiah Totten, number 25 in the backfield for the Eagles. It's like you're trading out backs because they both have explosiveness and home run ability. As Caldwell finds McCoy, and that almost ended up in the hands of the Panthers.
Inaccurate throw on a wide receiver screen. This ball just kind of sails on Caldwell. And you see the Prairie View defensive back with an opportunity to make an interception. That was Jalen Harris.
And remember, he was a center fielder in the minors for a couple years, so that was like catching it like a can of corn right there for him. Well, Totten on the carry. That'll bring up about third down and about 6.
And I continue to be impressed with this defensive front from Prairie View A&M. Unexpected. Normally we've seen the MEAC representative control the line of scrimmage in these MEAC SWAC challenges. That has not been the case today. This Prairie View defensive line is taking it to the offensive line of North Carolina Central.
Lofting it over, and maybe some miscommunication there as McCoy was the intended receiver. And quickly done on offense as the Eagles unit will trot back to the sideline.
Impressive 3 and out from the Panther defense.
Another rugby-style kick. We'll see if Anthony Juice Parker can return it, and he's tripped up quickly. "35-yard punt. So 20 seconds remaining here in this third quarter.
16.
And just a heads up, Prairie View
It's the clock.
trying to get it going here.
Please put 16 seconds on the clock. 16, 1-6.
Tucker in the backfield. Wharton with the handoff to Tucker. Tucker bounces to the outside, and he's like that left side thus far this afternoon. And to think about it, DeJon Jones, who's a freshman, one of the highlights, who was dinged up during the spring, he's at left tackle along with Christian Rice, the left guard. Moving quickly once more. Wharton had 5 receivers found. Number 11, Tristan Wallace. And the collision there, and Wallace
That's the end.
is down once
quarter.
more. We saw him take a hit earlier in the game. So we'll take a quick step aside as it's getting good here in Atlanta. You'll want to stay with us at the end of 3.
They're off to their 4th WNBA Finals. Coverage on the ESPN app in 2 minutes, 3:09 Eastern tip, and on ESPN2 when they're done with college football. Tiff, back to you.
Start of the 4th quarter here from Atlanta. Prairie View on top, 26-21. And in the booth with us, Dr. Dennis Thomas, the MEAC commissioner. We had a chance to talk with the new SWAC commissioner, Dr. Charles McClellan, and he said that you reminded him just of the history of this MEAC SWAC challenge and, of course, the advantage that the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference has had over his.
Yes, absolutely. And first and foremost, I want to congratulate Charles on the appointment. And I know he will do a fantastic job. He has done an excellent job everywhere he's been, Prairie View, Texas Southern. And so we look forward to SWAC continuing that success as well.
Oh, whoa. You're not going to come here and do all that political spiel now. Hold on. You said congrats. He's saying he's going to start beating up on you on the MEAC SWAC Challenge. He said now that he's in there, the SWAC is going to start dominating this series.
You know, Mike Tyson once said, and I don't quote Mike Tyson very often, but he said everybody has a plan.
So you get punched in the face.
You get hit. So, but yes, obviously we've had great success in the MEAC SWAC Challenge, and we plan to continue the success. And Central has made a good rebound here, and so we look forward to a good conclusion to this game.
I like what you said earlier. I said, man, Central, they look like they're trying to get back into it. I didn't think it was going to happen. You said, I knew they would. I said, how did you know? And you said, Jay, you have to call the game unbiased, but you're biased when it comes to this. You're biased for the MEAC all the way.
Absolutely. I am totally biased when we play non-conference games. Now, when we play conference games, I am totally unbiased.
Gotcha. How big was the victory for North Carolina A&T last weekend versus Jacksonville State for the MEAC?
It was a huge victory on ESPN, a national platform, and a ranked team, a 6th ranked team in FCS football. So that was a tremendous victory, not only for A&T, but for the conference as a whole.
Well, Dr. Thomas, we appreciate your time. Thanks for swinging by the booth, and we'll see what North Carolina Central can get going on offense here.
Well, we appreciate it, and I'd like to congratulate you as well.
Thank you.
And
very much.
all the best to you, Tiffany, and continued success to you. I don't have to say anything for Jay. You know, he has an elevated opinion of himself.
Everybody always says, good luck dealing with Jay, this and that. Like, am I the problem here in this?
No, I didn't say you were a problem. I just said you had an elevated opinion of yourself.
And if your name keeps coming up, I mean.
Sooner or later, you got to take a look in the mirror. Whoa,
Caldwell is swung down by Quentin Bell, the senior out of Long Beach. They said he would be an X factor, and whoa, what a big hit.
We've been waiting to call his name. Quinn Bell shoots in there from a cannon, gets to the quarterback in a hurry. Unique story, Quinn Bell, a converted wide receiver that now plays defensive end. 6'4", 220 pounds. He's their pass rush guy. He can hold firm on the edge. And you wonder why he was able to get there so quickly. That wide receiver track speed he had in high school allowed him to cause some havoc.
Also ran for the Panthers track team last season in the 60-meter and 100 meters. And, boy, they were high on him, said it was a great surprise coming into the year. And Chauncey Caldwell taking matters into his own hands for the 12-yard gain. That's good enough for a first down.
Did you see number 20 catch a cramp in the middle of the pursuit for the quarterback?
Anthony Stubbs was right there. It's like the second time I think he's cramped up.
He was chasing down Caldwell and caught a cramp right in the middle of his pursuit. And watch him go down. You'll see 20 right there in the middle of your screen. I've got him. Oh, caught that cramp, went down to the turf, and enabled Caldwell to pick up the first down. And it's ugly. This game got ugly. It was a sprinters meet, track meet. It was finesse. The SWAC was throwing the football all over the place. Central made it ugly, and now Central's only down by 5, and they've just crossed midfield with possession of the ball. Look out, Prairie View.
Well, Totten on the carry. He had some good blocking up front, down by Damon Jackson out of New Orleans.
This is, I think, where you run the football. You keep running the football. You're in the fourth quarter. Maybe that defensive line is showing some signs of being tired. You play MEAC football in these situations, in between the tackles, in between the trenches.
Well, if the Eagles had an opportunity to watch last week as they pick up another first down, compliments of Sonny Richardson, they saw that Rice gave them a steady dose of running. I mean, they picked up more than 300 yards on the ground.
And Prairie kind of faded towards the end of that game, so I'm sure that's why Coach Eastman kept reiterating that message to his football club.
Caldwell going for the outside one-on-one coverage for Deshaun Stevens, and a penalty flag comes out.
It better be holding. This is where me, I love I'm a quarterback, love offense, but this is not a catchable ball.
Defense, number 23.
See, if you want to call holding, I got no problem with that. But that ball it wasn't even the same area code. That was not a catchable ball in that situation. Now, maybe I could be wrong, which I rarely am. Double move, but they're going at it. Look where that ball landed. That ball landed 4 yards out of bounds. Come on, man.
Yeah, Jalen Harris, the guilty party there, but I'm with you, Jay. That was not a catchable ball, so a tough break for the Panthers defense, because now that moves the Eagles into the red zone. And that pass was tipped and deflected at the line of scrimmage by Aaron Walker. And quick update on the field with our Olivia Decker.
Running back Jamal Curry-Elliott is on the sideline. He took off his pads. He's done for the day. His left knee is wrapped with ice. Remember, he was limped off the field with the help of 2 trainers. It didn't look good.
All right, thanks so much, Olivia. And that could be a big blow, something to keep your eye on throughout the season. Transferred from Oregon. They feel like he's a big playmaker in this offense as Caldwell tucks it. And he's brought down.
To the coach's credit, one thing they said, we've got so many good running backs, we don't rely on one, and that kind of seems to be the staple of North Carolina Central. They keep more than one running back. They always have good ones. You mentioned Sampson and McLean earlier. Well, coming in, they thought it was going to be Totten and Curry-Elliott, and they also got Tyquan Watson, who we thought we could see in this football game as well. But it is unfortunate for Jamal Curry-Elliott in his return to playing football back in Durham. He's got an injury on the first game.
And Sonny Richardson, who has made some plays earlier across the middle for the quick slant, just in and out of his hands. So that brings up 4th down. And they'll likely try for the field goal with Adam Lippy, the redshirt freshman kicker from Tucker High School. We had an opportunity to see his alma mater in action last weekend against Grayson, Georgia. And the 35-yard attempt is good. So cut the lead back down to 2 as this battle continues from Atlanta.
All right.
Between Atlanta and Washington, it's streaming now live on the ESPN app. And as soon as they are done in Atlanta, we'll have Atlanta and Washington for you here on ESPN2. Tiffany, back to you.
North Carolina Central within 2 after a 35-yard field goal. 11:17 to go in regulation. And Granville Eastman in his first game as the interim head coach of the Eagles. Xavier Johnson on the return. Look, the Panthers led the SWAC last year in 4th in the nation in kickoff returns, averaging about 25 yards, and they have struggled to bring it out as a penalty flag drops on the field.
Hold it. Receiving team, number 41. 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
In this type of game, 2-point game, fourth quarter, I think whichever team can clean up their style of play in terms of penalties, they have the greatest chance of success for winning this football game. I mean, Prairie, you're up by 2 now. You had a decent return. Now you have to start what we call bad field position inside your 20.
Dewanye Tucker, number 1. He has 168 yards on 16 carries. They give it to the explosive running back once more. And the question is, why not continue to feed him the ball? He's averaging about 10 yards a carry today.
Yeah, depending, it really comes down to how much they respect the passing game for Prairie A&M. So when they're really nervous about them passing, they stack the box. Right now, they're not stacking the box, and that's why Prairie View is going with the running game. So they're really just winning the chess match. Anytime that they anticipate getting that 7-man box, then Prairie View has shown they will throw it. But whenever North Carolina Central tries to stop the run with just 6 in the box, Prairie View gives the ball to Tucker, and Tucker's been making him pay.
Another 14-yard gain for the junior out of Terrell, Texas. Now a quick pass out to Jeffrey Rector, and he bounces off of that tackle, stays on his feet, and just about the 40-yard line, an 18-yard catch, but it's the yak that mattered the most there, yards after catch.
And that was the adjustment. Central went to a little run stop and blitz. They got rid of the ball quickly to Rector, made a guy miss, big play.
Another swing out to Bernard Goodwater.
You see 75 with number 75, Big Jamal Fontenot, biggest lineman for Prairie View A&M, 320 pounds. He's out there as a lead blocker, hitting nobody. Just missed trying to hit a would-be tackler.
He's their best offensive lineman. And once more, they give it to Tucker, and this one finally under 10 yards. But going back to Fontenot, the graduate out of Beaumont.
Look, he's in good position. I'm going to get him. Oh, why'd you move? You have to know those guys are going to move left to right. So good effort, but no contact made.
Taken over once more is Tucker. And a big hit from the Eagles. Brandon Bailey in on the tackle.
And great job by that freshman left tackle, DeJon Jones, we talked about, number 50, pulling from that left tackle position. So we saw Fontenot struggle a little bit with his mobility, but the young true freshman, DeJon Jones, able to pull effectively, and he's going to be a good one. He'll be a cowbell at that left tackle position for the Panthers.
Here's some pressure, but getting it away and wide open for the score is Marcus Hardy. Somebody missed an assignment there, and Prairie View makes them pay the 21-yard pitch and catch.
How did he get so open? So, I mean, if we take a look, this is the matchup that we're taking a look at right here. Let's see how he was able to get so wide open. Bump and run coverage. The wide receiver, good job using his hands, pulled him away, got separation for the score. Manhandled Marcus Martin at the top.
You said exactly what I was going to say, and this is a guy who didn't play last week against Rice, but a big touchdown for the Panthers.
ESPN app with Elena Deladon in the lineup in a winner-go-home game for the Mystics. We'll have it for you on ESPN2 as soon as they're done with college football in the ATL.
Back here in Atlanta, and Marcus Hardy helping to stretch the lead out for Prairie View A&M after the 21-yard touchdown reception, and the Panthers lead 33-24. 7 plays, 82 yards on that drive. Eat up just over 2 minutes. But again, some breathing room for the Panthers as Tyquan Watson receives it and bounced around and brought down just inside the 20. First Take is moving to New York. Stephen A., Max, and Molly are heading to the Big Apple on Monday. Same show, same time, just a new location. 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Going to the big city.
Yeah. That's what they would say is like high cotton. You know what I'm saying? You're moving into high cotton.
Is the Big Apple big enough for Stephen A. and Max? That's the question.
Says the guy who, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it to you, Jay. I'm not going to do it to you,
Whatever you're thinking about doing, don't do it.
Caldwell tucks it, and he's met by a bevy of yellow jerseys. Jermaine Jackson in on the stop, the sophomore out of Louisville.
Yeah, that's that thing we talked about earlier. This D-line for Prairie View came in here on a mission. They were not going to get pushed around, and hats off to them. The D-line has done a great job in this football game, limiting the amount of rushing attempts that Caldwell's been able to get, or any of the running backs from North Carolina Central for that case.
Richardson in motion. Caldwell was looking in the middle of the field to Stevens and just overthrows him. So now 3rd and 11.
I look over at the North Carolina Central band, and they're not into it. They're kind of just like the sun is beating them down. And then the other side of the stadium, you've got the Prairie View band. They're still a little bit more active. They got the lead. See, football players feed off of that. You know, if I'm on the field, I need my band to get me into it. There's no oomph. They're just like taking up space. I wonder, I'm going to ask Olivia after this, I wonder, is that just me feeling that, or is that the way it seems in the stadium down there on the field as well? But this is a big 3rd down.
Illegal snap. Offense. Number 56. Penalty. 3rd down.
So, Olivia, coming up, we got a big 3rd down. Football players thrive off emotion. What's the feel for that North Carolina Central band right now? Are they into the game, or are they just in the stadium?
Jay, your observation is very accurate, and both bands are still in the sun, and it is very hot when that sun's on you. But the North Carolina Central Band is celebrating 80 years of existence, and before the game, they were very buttoned up. It was very exciting.
All right, 3rd and 16, being chased out the pocket.
Face mask.
Yeah, that face mask gets it to Sonny Richardson. Richardson going east and west, trying to move upfield, and he's brought down.
So they're going to have to sort out some of these penalties and everything. So, Olivia, I want to ask you this. Now, I know you were coming into this game, you're getting excited. So was the HBCU halftime experience what you thought it'd be, and who won the Battle of the Bands? And don't answer that question because you'll lose a lot of fans. So.
Oh, I loved the halftime performance. It was my first time seeing something like that. And they play a mix of songs from the 90s and current songs. I personally enjoyed Cardi B's I Like It Like That. That's my kind of song of the summer, along with just about everyone else. It was a really impressive performance.
I love that. Being able to soak up all of the experience, and so much of black college football is around the bands as well as football.
Both on the defense. Illegal block below the waist against the defense is declined. Personal foul, face mask against the defense is accepted. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
So you see the face mask right there. They're getting ready to end the drive on the 3rd down. They pull the face mask instead. Gives them a first down, in North Carolina Central that they're just hanging around this thing. I mean, Prairie View came out with the score to go up by 9 again, and Central gets a penalty. They don't get the 3 and out. Now they get the ball in decent field position again. I would not have caught on that one of the bands played Cardi B. I'm old school. I don't know who Cardi B is.
Okay, did you hear Drake In My Feelings?
Yes, I heard that.
Okay.
That was
See,
good too.
Olivia, did you do the challenge down on the field, or at least were you tempted to do so?
You know, Tiffany, some of us are working here, so no, it was very impressive. They did play some very current songs. That was cool.
First and 10 now for the Eagles. Caldwell kind of bottled up there in the middle. Brought down by Jason Dumas.
And I know it's not traditional what you see from the running attack. Most offenses, you say you don't want your quarterback really getting hit. But, I mean, I saw it all last season. Chauncey Caldwell likes to get hit. He initiates contact, so you don't blame the offensive coordinator for putting your quarterback in harm's way. He was able to make it through a whole season last year. But that's just the type of football player he is. He likes contact, likes to bring it, and I think he gets going off of that. So they need to call some more quarterback runs.
This time he elects to toss it up in the air. Has a man, and a lot of contact. Some bodies go down. A flag comes out as well. Reggie Stubblefield was in on that.
I have to see these calls because that was a poor throw. I mean, that ball should have been intercepted from the moment it left his hands. Reggie Stubblefield made a great beat on the ball.
Pass interference, defense.
And they call pass interference. I just don't see how that's possible.
First down.
I mean, that ball, the only chance of that ball was interception or long and complete. Watch him come over there. He's got the best path to the ball. Now, they probably called pass interference on 22. But come on. No.
Yeah, I think Cheatham may have been holding onto the jersey just a little bit. Meanwhile, Chauncey Caldwell took a big shot. Stubblefield goes off. That's the general in that secondary. So,
if you throw the ball, one wide receiver versus two defensive backs, don't think we're giving you pass interference. That's just not pass interference there. Sorry, I'm trying to get along with these referees over the years. We've been trying, but that one there just kind of gets me.
Officials out of the SWAC, and look, this drive is continued for the Eagles because they've been bailed out by a couple of big penalties, that face mask and now that pass interference. So the drive continues now. 2nd down and 6.
Remember when we saw Central moving the ball up and down the field? It was up-tempo offense. Now they're going back to this, slowing it down by 9. Give me some up-tempo offense. Spread it out.
Caldwell, this time it's picked off. Anthony Parker, they like to call him Juice. He brought it right there. Brought down just around midfield, and wow, what a big INT for the Panthers defense.
Caldwell trying to do too much, directing traffic a little bit, kind of telegraphing his throw. You know he's going to try to get the ball to Stevens, but this time here, he's just covered. That's as well covered as somebody can be. Great job by Parker, and he's a guy that gets NFL looks, and you see why. Able to stick like glue to the wide receiver. He was an All-American a season ago. Top 5 interception getters in FCS football last year, and this just a junior, but he's got the tools to be a special one.
Yeah, Coach Dooley said he actually remembered him from last year as his days as an offensive coordinator at Grambling. He had to be on the best receiver. Deshaun Stevens has been that for the Eagles this afternoon, and Juice coming up big, and so is Dewanye Tucker. He's got lightning speed. You're not going to catch him. A 50-yard touchdown run. Boom.
Ball game. That's how you close it out right there. And it has to be disappointing because you knew you were going to see a heavy dose of Parker this drive. You just didn't think he'd get it done with one run. Blink your eye, turns around Devontae Reynolds, becomes a foot race to the end zone, and I'll tell you what, somebody said he's a little bit Tariq Cohen-esque. He's starting to make me a believer, because one thing about Tariq Cohen, when he played on TV, he showed up. And right now, Tucker, he's showing up.
And he says, every time I show up, I'm going to show out. He's doing just that. Dewanye Tucker getting it done.
Purchase everywhere. It's like a cashback oasis. What's in your wallet?
The MEAC SWAC Challenge is presented by McDonald's new sweet and spicy honey barbecue glazed tenders. They are hand-tossed and glazed to order.
That's hammering Hank Aaron, and this stadium is located off of Hank Aaron Drive, the former Major League and Atlanta Brave great. And we're here, of course, in the old Turner Field that they've converted into a football stadium. And thus far, Prairie View has marched in. They came out with a renewed sense of confidence here in the second half, and they've opened it up here with a 40-24 lead over the Eagles. Penalty flag on the field, and we'll get the call, but also get a quick check of our studio with our Zubin Mahinti.
Tiffany, thanks. The Washington Mystics season is on the line. They're playing like it. Christy Tolliver from downtown. They've got to win this game to force a Game 5. It's streaming on the ESPN app. We'll see you on ESPN2 after you guys are done.
Number 21, 10 yards from the end of the run.
Penalty goes against North Carolina Central, so they'll back them up 5 yards, 5:55 remaining in this one, Jay. And we wanted to see if Prairie View had that knockout punch ability. Obviously, there's still time left on the clock, but an uphill battle for the Eagles.
The foul happened at the 20-yard line.
Tucker had the ability to get it all done for Prairie View A&M, but if you're Central, we just haven't seen them consistently be able to throw the football. Now down by 16, less than 6 minutes left. We're going to have to see how Chauncey Caldwell's evolved as a passer. That last interception proved costly, but they need a quick score in order to try and get back in this game.
Caldwell threw it kind of in no man's land, and one of the things that the coaches told us this week was the fact that last year they felt like Caldwell was trying to win it all and do it all himself. Of course, he was a first-year player in this program, but since that time they wanted him to try to settle in. Did you feel like he was trying to do it all there?
Yeah, you see it. I think he's going through sophomore slump. I mean, it's like kind of, people say, what's a sophomore slump? It's once the defenses figure out what you like to do, then they try and make you not do that. And in this case, they know he likes to run, so I think the game plan for Prairie View is to come out here and keep him in the pocket. Normally you want to flush a guy out of the pocket. With Caldwell, they said we're going to keep him in the pocket so he can't run and then make him beat it with his arm, and he just has not been able to do that consistently today. He's got more weapons around him, though, than a season ago, as they alluded to, with the wide receivers, with Day coming on board. But you have to be able to give him the ball.
And he runs right into the arms of the freshman, Jason Dumas, and Dumas with the sack.
And this is where you have to have a little bit better pocket presence. Step up and go to your right. He's so focused on going left. That's where his attention was. Ran into a sack right there.
John Picaro has had a busy afternoon, the junior punter out of Boynton Beach, Florida. Punting out of his own end zone. Parker just watches it bounce. So good starting field position for the Panthers, who are rolling.
Every play is for a championship.
We'll be ready. We know we got our hands full.
We really like having Aaron around, but we're concerned he takes his name a bit too literally.
Okay. He has to do golf again.
All rise.
Deladon is back. Maisha Hines-Allen has shown up. It's all Mystics. We'll have it on ESPN2 after you guys are done.
Welcome back here to Atlanta, as it's been all Prairie View. 634 total yards this afternoon, and Dewanye Tucker has been the highlight. He gets a break on the start of this drive. Caleb Roach up ahead, the junior on the carry. King Kiaku with the stop, and Tucker had a career high so far, and he may continue to add to those numbers. 21 carries, 248 yards.
Impact player.
I'd say so.
Impact player, and You know, I've heard a lot about him. Haven't covered Prairie View too much over the past couple of years, so heard he's been doing some special things down there in Texas, and today he showed up as good as advertised. In open space, he is very tough to bottle up. He's done it by the gambit of ways of getting it done. Right here, this is just a draw which was poorly blocked, but still made the opening tackler miss and established right away that he was going to be tough to bring down. And I like the balance and the vision. And what do all good runners do? That after contact, those extra yards he was able to get. And I thought this one here, this was just the one right here. You just clinch it, one cut, foot race. And a young man from Terrell, Texas. Had a fantastic ball game here.
Career high numbers for the junior, scored a touchdown, and certainly kept this Eagles defense on their toes. When you talk about just the speed of the SWAC, he is a great example of that. Really something that this Panthers group can build on when you look at the fact they've won 11 SWAC titles, the last one coming in 2009. Can he be one of those catalysts to help get them there, along with a very good wide receiving core?
He will have to be. He will have to be, but it all comes down to how Morton's going to play, because we saw when Morton got hot, this offense was flowing. When he struggled a little bit, then people started to gang up on Tucker, and it became tough. So they have the tools in place to be a very effective offense. They had that last season during the Willie Simmons era. The key is going to be, can that defense continue to play like we saw them play today, which was just stout and physical, and really took it to North Carolina Central for most of this game.
3rd and 5 now, and with that 16-point lead, surprised that they're not eating up more of that play clock, Jay?
This is not their DNA.
Yeah.
Up-tempo offenses, so for them, they'll just run the ball a little bit, but they're going to wind it down late.
Well, here they're instituting that theory. And Goodwater tried to get to the outside, and he's brought down by Royster.
Wow, that's one where you need that extra yard and a half. Leave your feet, dive, know where the first down marker is so you can keep possession of it and then kind of run it out in 4-minute offense.
4th and 2, and the offense still on the field, so Dooley taking a gamble here, empty backfield.
And they're not even milking any clock. Yeah,
oh, there we go.
Try and draw them off sides a little bit, then probably take it down and call a timeout once the game clock gets to around 1 second on it.
Timeout. Prairie. 30 seconds.
Good look there at Coach Eric Dooley, a New Orleans native. We mentioned a long-time assistant. Prior to that, though, he got his start in the SWAC as a player under the legendary Coach Eddie Robinson as a wide receiver, and then just has hung around since then and terrorized defenses all throughout.
And I'm going to call it out for years, probably about the past 5 years. I was like, why is he still coaching at Grambling? And he was looking. He was open to some other jobs, didn't get it. I think a lot of teams are going to pay, particularly in the SWAC, because he was there. The numbers were there, and letting him go to Prairie View, woo-wee. I'm sure there are a lot of people that wish he'd have taken like the UAPB job, or even the Mississippi Valley State job when that came open, and he was out there applying for that one. But now Prairie View, they've got to find, and I think the rest of the conference, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Well, 4th and 2, and the Panthers elect to go for it. Bringing the pressure was the Eagles' Darius Royster in on the stop. So a turnover and downs and a head scratcher there, given the fact that Zach Elder can hit it from about 45, 48 was his long last season.
Yeah, maybe you don't chance the block field goal try, whatever. Maybe you would have pinned him, though. But this call here, I'm going to scratch my head on that one. Good job by North Carolina Central to defend it. But even if you take a chance and try and punt the ball out of bounds to pin them.
Quick check of the studio. We send it over to Zubin Mahinti. Back here on the field, E.J. Hicks collects the catch. But back to Eric Dooley, I mean, you think about the coaches that he's been under in terms of either played for, we talked about Eddie Robinson, but also coached alongside Pete Richardson, the Southern great, Broderick Fobbs, who is the younger, and then Monty Coleman as well at the Arkansas Pine Bluff, who has a ton of pro experience. And so he says he has just been able to pull little bits and pieces from each of them, keeps in great contact still with Pete Richardson.
Yeah, very tight with Pete. They had a great run down there at Southern, and Pete really got him in the business and kept him going. And I agree with what he said. You're not going to meet a greater human being probably than Monty Coleman. So if you're coaching there when he was at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff under him, you have to take that away from you. And then with Fobbs, I mean, Fobbs went in there against all odds. Grambling was not a desirable job at the time, and he just turned that into a powerhouse program. And I think, he just said, in terms of not getting jobs that were open before, he's a spiritual guy, and he said, hey, it was in God's plans for me to have this job at this time, and I think all parties are happy.
Very cool and calm and collected. He says his daughter Diamond probably is more of the hype person in the house than he or his wife are. On the other side for Granville Eastman, having a chance to.
What are they doing? You're down by, are they up by 16 or down by 16? Wow.
Down by 16. And
no, come on.
Oh, look at well, this is what they knew.
Yep.
Running into the punter. You have to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. One, I'm questioning why is Central punting the ball down by 16.
Defense, number 32. 15-yard
so
penalty.
Roughing
Automatic.
The kicker, an automatic first down, and John Picaro is coming off limping. I know he's did a good job selling it, too.
Let me give credit. The punt worked. the choice of punting the football worked. And roughing the kicker, that seemed more like the running into the kicker. But it didn't matter. It was, 4th and 4. But now, wow, just when it seems like Central was just giving the game away, they were going to punt it to you, they get the ball back. Oh, I'm throwing like 4 Hail Marys now. If I get the ball back now, I'm going to the end zone every time.
Caldwell has connected with Stevens, number 6 in maroon all day. Steady finds a little daylight and runs it up ahead, but more importantly, eating some precious moments off those precious time off that clock.
Yeah, and this is where he has to learn how to scramble to throw the football. He's a guy I've noticed when he takes off, he's running. Well, learn how to take off but know where the line of scrimmage is so you can pull up and hit a receiver downfield. Keep your vision downfield.
Caldwell
looking
once again
he's taking
to
off.
Take off their first down.
He's got to learn to step up into the pocket. Yeah. You step up, but for him, he's a drop back, not their takeoff type guy. I'd like to see him step up and keep his vision a little bit more downfield, give his receivers more of an opportunity to work.
It's 3rd and 1 and closing in on the final minute. And he's going for E.J. Hicks, but covered well by Juanthony Parker.
Yeah, don't go over there to Juanthony Parker's territory. He will come away with interceptions. He's a ball hawk.
4 interceptions a season ago, 2 returned for a touchdown, and that brings up 4th and 1 now. And perhaps the last chance for the Eagles, as the MEAC has certainly controlled this MEAC SWAC challenge, but looks like the Panthers could hold on.
And a big hit put on Caldwell to end the game by Willie Green. That's a little bit of an exclamation point.
Yeah. So the first 6 games of the season, a little odd, quirky schedule for the Panthers, and the fact that they're not playing at home for the first 6 weeks. They're at either away or on neutral sites. And their first home game isn't until October 13th against Southern. That's a long time away from Blackshear Stadium, a premium or state-of-the-art facility there.
Circle that game versus Grambling. State Fair Classic and the Cotton Bowl in Texas. Woo, it's going to mean something this year.
Oh, absolutely. Going against his former team, but all smiles for Eric Dooley. You see that big sigh of relief for him in collecting his first win as a head coach.
And the question was, were they as good as last week's performance versus Rice when they were playing up? A game that they really should have won. I think they answered some of those critics today by continuing to play at a high level, scoring points, and I think they're making a statement.
So Southern has been the only SWAC school to win this one. Now he gets doused with the Gatorade bath, as Prairie View A&M will go on to win and move that record to 9-4 in this MEAC SWAC Challenge. Oh, what a good feeling for Eric Dooley and the Panthers. You think about just the long journey that he's taken to get to this point. 21 seasons as an assistant coach. His moment is right here, right now.
Timeout.
And you see the emotions on the sideline from Dooley.
That's all right. See, I like that. Take it in, realize the journey that you're talking about, the 21 years, for a moment like this, where you can think about it, think about all the coaches, all the people that helped you get to where you were along this ride. Your players come out and perform for you, and probably had some naysayers that told him to give up on his dream, but now he's a head coach and 40 seconds away from getting his first victory as a head coach. That's what college football is all about. Coaching profession, not an easy profession. It's tough on your families. It's tough on your friends. But you do it for moments like this, and I appreciate Eric Dooley smelling the roses a little bit down there on the field, seconds away from a victory. And, of course, teenagers being teenagers are going to make it hard to celebrate. That's a little sloppy with the football.
And look, when we saw Eric Dooley walk into the stadium this afternoon, or earlier this morning, rather, we saw him ready. He was dressed, you know, the whole look good, feel good, hope your players play good. I mean, he was ready to go, bow tie and all.
Yeah,
he was fresh.
Is he the sharpest dressed coach?
Well, I mean, his statement today could very well put everybody on notice. You know, so the pregame suit, just so you all know what we're talking about here, there's Dooley. I mean, that's fresh to death right there.
You like that?
Yeah, that is clean. As they say, clean as a whistle. Woo!
I got you, but see, yeah, he looks clean, but guys like that, he's got like that bill where he can buy off the rack. See, what about a guy like me? Pound for pound, I'm a dresser because I can't buy off the rack. But no, he looks clean. If he keeps dressing like that, he's going to be the new Shine Wyatt. Yeah. Alvin Wyatt,
oh,
the Cookman legendary coach. Yep. He cared more about the wardrobe than the game. I'm just playing with you, Shine. You cared about winning, but he put a lot into his wardrobe.
Yeah, it'll be tough to top that, but certainly congratulations to Eric Dooley. And for North Carolina Central, look, I mean, this is a non-conference game, so, you know, when you look at what's to come for Granville Eastman and his crew, you circle South Carolina State. That's their first conference game.
They're going to
need
that
also,
one.
You're going to need that one, but also then you have back-to-back weeks of FAMU and Howard. Look, FAMU, a program on the rise. Howard, you know, kind of already arriving to that stage. So,
who said FAMU was on the rise?
I said FAMU's on the rise. Okay.
They got to show me something.
And you know what?
They beat Fort Valley, but they got to show me some quality
Before
wins.
Before we came on air, you said that they were a program to watch out for.
Watch out doesn't mean on the rise.
Well, I'm already going. See, you got to claim it. You got to speak it into existence, Jay. You got to speak it into existence. On the run, and up ahead is Tyquan Watson. But a good stable of running backs, as we mentioned, for North Carolina Central. Chauncey Caldwell will continue to develop at quarterback, and then not only that, you've got a special player in Devontae Reynolds, so that secondary, a seasoned and experienced bunch. I mean, good days lie ahead for the Eagles.
I think this game is finally going to come to an end. Been a bizarre 48 seconds, but congratulations. I think we'll hear from both of these programs. I do think Central has some work to do in order to compete. I mean, obviously, they got to compete with A&T. It all starts and ends down in North Carolina with them. That Howard game is going to be very interesting. Howard's clearly a team on the rise.
Okay.
You can justify that from last year. Returning coach, Kalen Newton, all that stuff. Willie Simmons is new at FAMU, but I think they'll be heard from.
We'll give props to Prairie View A&M for bringing in a win for the SWAC and their first of the season under new head coach Eric Dooley. And it was hot to start for the Panthers, and they kind of slowed a little bit and put their foot back on the gas towards the end. And our Olivia Decker is down on the field with the winning head coach and Eric Dooley.
Thank you, Tiffany. A lot of emotion here, Coach. Your first win as head coach. You said that your wife gets a little bit more sentimental, but are you feeling the sentiment now?
I am. I didn't think it would happen, but first of all, I'd like to thank God for giving me the opportunity, and the guys played hard. So I'm pleased and still not satisfied. I know we got some work to do, but I'll take it.
You're in the middle of a 5-game road trip. Game 2 just finished. That sounds like we're talking about basketball there. That's so unique for football. How are you going to keep your guys fresh and sharp?
Well, I'll tell you what, our strength and conditioning coach got us built for this year. So I expect the guys just continue to play. I mean, we've been working hard since January, so I'm pleased, and we just got to continue to just build together.
What does it feel like to get this win for the SWAC conference as well?
Wow. I made the statement that the only team to ever win the MEAC SWAC Challenge was Southern University.
Yep.
And fortunately, I was there for 2 of them. So I feel blessed and highly favored.
You're turning the tide in this challenge game. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
The Dooley effect in full effect. DeWanye Tucker had an amazing afternoon, 247, a career high for him, more than 600 total yards. Jay, it was an impressive outing for Prairie View A&M, putting everybody on notice.
Absolutely. Look out for the Panthers in the SWAC. They may be back here in Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl.
Thanks for tuning in. For Jay Walker, I'm Tiffany Green, signing off from the ATL.